Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to ball down to. Let's go out and kick some tail. All right? Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Send our guys after you and make the play.
Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid.
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
And Armen Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
We congratulate you and your extraordinary group of players on behalf of the league, on behalf of Packer fans in Wisconsin, throughout America, and indeed throughout the world. Mike, here's the Lombardi Trophy.
Okay, thank you. Bob Harlan, it's been 29 years since Green Bay has brought home a world title. What do you have to say to Green Bay, the new America's team, and all of its fans around the world?
I think it's time, Terry, that the Lombardi Trophy goes home to Lambeau Field where it belongs.
Friday edition of the Huddle, off and running from headquarters. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you as we celebrate the life of Bob Harlan, former Packers president and one of the more influential people in the history of Wisconsin sports. Welcome in, everybody. Tough news yesterday to lose Bob Harlan.
Drew, it's one of those, you say 89 years, and we like to, everybody has their different way of saying it. Rest in peace, rest easy. You can celebrate a life well lived, and hard to measure up to the sports life and the personal life lived by Bob Harlan. Those that got a chance to meet him and interact with him, those that worked for him, there's not one bad word ever spoken about Bob Harlan. And the only thing that we take with us in this world is how people remember us, and nobody remembered more fondly than Bob Harlan.
Oh, yeah, Hall of Fame person and Hall of Fame impact, huge impact on the franchise. Obviously, I don't know the Packers would exist if Bob Harlan hadn't pushed some of the buttons that he did during his tenure.
That's a clean take. It's very much true.
There's the renovations of Lambeau. He's obviously laying the groundwork for the Titletown district. They were gobbling up land at that time to, big picture. Fantastic. And turning the keys over to Ron Wolf and getting the executive committee out of football decisions.
Which was no small feat, guys. That was no small feat to say we will stand on the sidelines. We will put 100% of football decisions into the operations of the football. This was an organization that believed in their checks and balances, rightly so to some extent, and they had to have board meetings to hire and fire coaches. I mean, to
trade a first round pick, as the video was circulating yesterday of Kevin telling the story.
Great point. Famously, they wanted to have a say in Vince Lombardi's football decisions. It wasn't going to happen. So, Bob was the one, and it's also, I don't think, exaggeration to say, in an organization that doesn't have an owner, that position's as important and more important than it is in any other organization to do it correctly, do it right, and do it with the integrity that he did it with. So amazing life lived. And thank you, Bob Harlan, for everything he did for the Packers.
And Armen, kudos. And I think also the emeritus as well, the man that just stepped down out of that spot, Mark Murphy, agreed to the point that when you are representing the only team that isn't backed by billions, right? Isn't backed by a checkbook that measures up to the other 31 at the table when you go to those owners meetings, that position is almost more powerful than any other in professional sports, because you represent something that isn't backed by your own personal wealth. You need to make decisions that are based on the good of the organization and not your own pocket or personal well-being and personal wealth. That's something that no other sport is really able to say, and team ends up saying. And when I loved that video yesterday of Kevin Harlan and obviously pre-season voice of Packers football and voice of all of my childhood on NBC on the NBA 2K games and everything like that. They've been so influential in the story that he told when all of a sudden they're sitting there and he's trying to figure out how on earth they're going to be able to get this first round pick. And he looks over at Ron Wolf is pitching it to the executive committee. And Ron, would you leave the room here for one quick minute? Thank you. Every single one of you needs to stop this right now. Like, you just hear the curtness in the story and the cleanness, but the temperament. Drew, something that's probably not going to be matched again here.
Yeah, I don't think so. And it's like Bob Harlan. These are the Titans. Bob Harlan with the Packers. Like we said, just such a steward of the organization in his 20 years as president, and even before that. Marquette grad, Armen. He touches a lot of bases for us because he's from Des Moines, Iowa. So that's Dolph.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Dowling Catholic. Went to Marquette.
Dowling Catholic
was the SID at Marquette.
He was Al McGuire's first SID.
Yeah, and then they dropped football and track during that time, in the late 50s, and so that job became less attractive. He rolls over to the St. Louis Cardinals. Talk about training. I've often made the parallel how the St. Louis Cardinals are similar to the Packers. Well, Bob Harlan was there as community relations director and then media relations director. So he was always the most media friendly guy you could possibly be, because he was in that gig, and he was in that gig when they won a World Series with Bob Gibson and Bob Uecker and those guys. So he had a World Series ring and Super Bowl ring. That's pretty good tenure. He hired 2 Super Bowl winning GMs. Now,
the only person in pro football to do it and hire 2 different GMs with 2 completely different rosters. That one came out yesterday.
Totally. So, and just the sea change, and let's put the football people in charge of the football. And then, of course, Ron Wolf begat Mike Holmgren, and then Brett Favre was the trade that Ron Wolf made, and then Reggie White came, and the Packers, that story, the greatest story in sports, might have fizzled out without Bob Harlan. So it is. And okay, so, and you talk about the controversies. Yeah, he took some bullets, but he always was at his desk. I mean, he, as a reporter, when I was doing stuff coming up, I got to interact with him a couple of times, and just couldn't have been a nicer, more professional, more folksy, feel like the guy your whole life kind of guy.
Did you call the landline?
Yeah. He answered his desk. Yes. He answered the phone at his desk quite a bit. And if not, you could get on the list of people, like if they announced a ticket pricing and you got to get a comment or something, he would just have a list of people to call. And Wolf was the same way. They would just, at the end of the day, you'd get your call, and you get 3 to 5 minutes, better make it a good question and
get
have a little small talk.
Answer.
And then sometimes if there was time, it would roll into small talk. And Bob Harlan had a close relationship with Bud Selig, and both of those guys are Titans, and Bud's in the, sundown years too. Bud's north of 90. These guys were incredible stewards. And so just thinking of, and then you think about, look at his family and the success that Kevin has had, and now Olivia and
Kevin and Brian. I mean, Brian's one of the biggest sport agents in the world of coaching.
No doubt. And I've dealt with those guys in the past, and we've had Kevin on the show a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And then their brother Mike is a friend of the program as well. So it's quite the loss. We got to celebrate his life today. And you talk about, not all of the decisions were easy, and some of the waters got choppy. It's always great when you're winning Super Bowls, but you don't do that every year.
Yeah.
Right. But the one of the most impactful things that Bob Harlan did left a scar for many. It's funny how it's kind of been, it's healed now.
Sure.
But pulling the Packers out of Milwaukee. When he did that, there were people down here, and Billy, your family got tickets, and there are people down here who got tickets that are still kind of mad about that. Like, yeah, you're screwing Milwaukee. And you look at it now and you go, of course, look at what Lambeau is. And that is the lore. That's the legend. It's like, hey, we're playing Green Bay in Milwaukee, and then that whole thing with County Stadium and what's now American Family Field being baseball only is all part of the Packers not wanting to use the facility anymore, because they knew it was better for business to be up there.
You look back and every decision he made was right. I mean, that's the amazing thing about it, and you look back, controversial or not, that's his legacy in that sense.
The sports solvency in the state. You mentioned Bud Selig as well, and then Herb Cole would also need to be in the conversation as well.
Titans.
Like those three have brought and kept sports in the state of Wisconsin. I mean, what's in Green Bay now won't be touched. But when Bob took over, obviously it was very, very, very tenuous. It was a massive question mark. And with Herb and obviously Bud being able to keep 60, 70 years of professional sports in the state of Wisconsin. At least it's incredible the generations of people that they impacted.
Between, if you want to go Mount Rushmore off the field, Bob Harlan, Bud Selig, Herb Cole, and Pat Richter.
Yep.
Boom. There you go. There's your four who have been just giants of a generation, and that their work laid a foundation that allowed what we enjoy today. So
and an incredible sports life. I mean, an incredible life in general, but an incredible sports life when you just consider what he did with the Packers, but all the, incredible figures he kind of worked with and came across. Already mentioned Al McGuire, but you mentioned his Cardinal stint was, in 67. I mean, that was one of the most legendary Cardinals teams as well, and obviously with the Packers, and, to have seen as much as he did, what a blessing we had to have him as ours. And to impact our sports. You mentioned our favorite franchise, our favorite team so much. And he's always going to be an important and integral figure in Packers history. Not to mention, and this is the most important part, you talk about the business, the solvency. He was he was the man during a lot of winning in Green Bay. And that's the most important thing for Packers fans. And he had a monster part of that. And he's going to be missed.
Packers Hall of Famer, Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Famer. If there's a Hall of Famer for just great people, just gentlemanly people, he's in that too. If there would be the Wisconsin Business Hall of Fame, he's in. They give out the Bob Harlan Leadership Award every year, so he's no doubt. And it goes beyond. People forget what it was like. They called it the house that Favre built, right, when they renovated Lambeau in the early 2000s. Well, it was, Harlan again was behind that.
With a big piece.
Gave the keys to Ron Wolf, and then they kind of set it in motion. You guys, it's like you think of it now, the stuff you take for granted, like the Hudson Center.
1,000%.
They had to build that, right? And so that's, that wasn't there.
Well, in the entire,
and it took money and foresight and everything about the atrium and all that. The whole vision of it is rooted in what
everything you saw this year. Right. Everything you saw this year with the NFL draft, there's no shot that obviously Mark Murphy made it his goal to walk out and make sure that was one of the final things that the Packers were able to do. But none of that's ever remotely possible if that complex isn't started with the crown jewel right there in the middle. I was at the rebirth of the legend, or whatever they ended up calling the Friday or Saturday night celebration when they reopened after all of the renovations. And I'm maybe like 7 or 8 years old. I was there with my grandma and my great grandpa, and hearing stories of him being one of the 250,000 people that were there at the Ice Bowl. But seeing all of that, knowing the very, very little bit of what the old green and yellow simple Lambeau Field was, Drew, it's hard to even put that on your, it's hard to even visualize it. I don't even know how AI would be able to take away what it sees now and put in what used to be there.
And the Don Hudson Center was his first big thing. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, that was finished in 94. His first big building project was the Don Hudson Center. I think they had a small renovation to the press box as well in the early 90s. And then you mentioned, Billy, the other renovations, and those things were so important. The forward thinking decisions to building the Packers brand physically and figuratively were so important, and he spearheaded all of it. And he's always going to be regarded, as the kind of the standard of that position. To respect to all the guys, and Mark Murphy's also done a great job, but he'll be the standard of that position. He'll always be regarded as such for such a crucible time in American sports for the Packers in this unique franchise, and in the NFL when free agency was starting. There were, there were a lot of questions about how the Packers could operate in those worlds, and he made it. Not only, the challenge was made into an advantage for the Packers and not the opposite. So,
and I mean that climb from assistant GM to running the entire operation, doing it the way he did, and Drew, again, this is the stuff that people talk about on this day, the day that they do the memoriams. But you almost felt like people felt bad bringing up football first in celebrating and mentioning him yesterday because of how nice of a human being he was.
That's right.
A genuine of a person he
Absolutely.
was, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it can be a small thing, but it's the most important thing that nobody had a bad word to say because he treated everybody in just a different level of class and grace.
Yeah. You come across people like that and you just, he had you're right, just a grace, a presence, professionalism, empathy. He treated everybody great. He was just an incredible human being. Like, I don't know that I'm sure he had bad days and I'm sure he had times when things got tough and, like I saw a close up. I had like a behind the curtain view at, Commissioner Emeritus Seelig melting down a couple times and being kind of upset and sometimes venting to me on the phone and stuff like that. Yeah. We all have our moments and I'm sure Bob had his, but man, there was just a class and a grace about him. And the results speak for themselves. The highly earned, like Billy, you said it. Ain't nobody going to say a bad word about Bob Harlan.
He was 100, and his record as the Packers president was 181 and 123, which is incredible. It's third in that era, only behind the Broncos and the Steelers for that stretch. So,
though he didn't meddle in the on-field stuff and say, "Hey, you ought to try this player. You ought to be playing that Armen more." I like the cut of his jib. Instead of that, but he did. Like the players, Leroy Butler and the players who got to know him, and he, if his door was always open and he was a resource, and if you had any troubles or if you had any, needed advice, he was always there for players. And players respected the hell out of him. So a lot of times players can play 10 years for an organization and, maybe see the owner in passing.
Yeah.
But with him, these guys had relationships where they stayed in touch, right? And so the players that were there, because he was such a, again, and he would go to them and say, "Hey, what can we do for you guys? What can I do
to help you? What can we do to help
you guys?"
I love the
bringing in like the chefs and stuff that all that stuff that happened.
Sure.
Now the game evolved as well, but the Packers stayed up with the times, and in some ways, the Packers they went from being the Siberian outpost to kind of cutting edge in some ways.
Yeah,
Well, and the player and the reinvesting in football all started really with him, right?
Yes.
All the money that you have, we need to reinvest it in football because it only brings back more money. You talk about the players, and the Packers released different statements, one from Brett Favre and one from Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, the Brett Favre one is more important because he was there the entire time. Bob's leadership of the Green Bay Packers was outstanding, hiring Ron Wolf, supporting that trade that brought me to the Green Bay Packers, changed my career. The organization believed in me and gave me the opportunity. He was so supportive of me during the challenges I faced in my career, challenges my family faced too. He was always there offering support. He was a great and kind man. I know winning the Super Bowl and bringing the Lombardi Trophy back to Green Bay was a proud moment for him. What the team accomplished, it was incredible to be a part of the resurgence in this great franchise, and Bob set the tone with his leadership. And then Rodgers continued on, saying he's the big reason why I was selected by the Green Bay Packers in 2005. He hired Ted Thompson, who drafted me with the first-round pick in 2005. I really got to know Bob in the 2007 Packers tailgate tour, said Rodgers. I think I speak for everyone who went on that trip when I say we had an absolute blast during those 4 days, and Bob was a big part of it for me. Bob was one of the most naturally funny people that I met in the organization during my 18 years, whether we were laughing on that bus for 4 days on the tailgate tour, embracing me in the locker room after a game, or catching up at the holiday party year after year. I lit up every day I got to see Mr. Harlan and give him a big hug. To me, Bob embodied the spirit of the Green Bay Packers, and he truly loved leading the greatest franchise in the NFL. His kind heart, quick wit, and steady hand will be remembered by Packers people forever. I'll be always thankful for my time with the legend, Mr. Bob Harlan.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Can you imagine, though, how much fun Bob Harlan was having on that last Packers tailgate tour?
Oh, my gosh.
He was hanging it up in 2008, having one final run around the state. Oh, I bet he had every story imaginable there.
Guarantee you. So, yes, Bob Harlan, again, titan of the industry, huge figure in Wisconsin sports behind the scenes. Never a show pony, never about him, but damn, he got stuff done.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen to
kudos
that.
him.
Did it with a
himself
smile.
with a smile and with a grace that won't be forgotten. So we're thinking of Bob Harlan, his family today. Obviously, Kevin, Brian, Michael, his sons, his wife, and the extended family, and Packers fans in general. It's Packers fans in general. It's a rough day. All right. Today on the program, we're going to talk to Matt Lepay. We got Dolph coming in for our halftime report. It's the Friday edition. Going to keep things a little looser because that's what we do on Fridays. So you throw something at us if you want us to talk about it. We'll kick it around. We've got we're definitely going to talk a little bit about the Brewers. We've got an uncompetitive game here.
Hey, come on, guys.
Here we are, all excited. We get to watch live sports during our show.
Yeah, but
and Japan's up by 2 touchdowns, 13-0 against Taipei.
When those boys roll up to the Sandlot, it's over.
So is it 15 after 5, or what's the?
That used to be. It used to be the blowout rule. The mercy rule.
13-0. Japan favored in the tournament.
At least
over
the Czechs.
Chinese Taipei.
At least the Czechs put up some runs.
No doubt.
Well, they also didn't have to face Yamamoto.
I know.
Yamamoto is just crisping these kids.
And we've got some Brewer stuff to talk about. The Quinn Priester stuff is interesting. So get yourself a comfortable chair and a cold or hot beverage of your choice on this Friday in the good land. You're hanging out in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the Friday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live on Facebook, X, and of course, YouTube. Talking about Bob Harlan today. 877-794-1973 gets you to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. And Bob Harlan being tributed, and it's appropriate for today because of his impact on Wisconsin sports and our favorite NFL franchise.
Amen. And listen, I said it yesterday. I was talking to my wife about it and just kind of laughing in a weird way. Like our lives changed because of Bob Harlan. And I've never even, I don't know that I've been in the same room that he's been in at like 3 times after, right? Like all 3 of us get to be on the Packers radio network. I don't know for a fact the Green Bay Packers radio network's flagship is in Milwaukee in 2025, 2026, if it's not for Bob Harlan, right? Like it's a real possibility, and a lot of different opportunities and things have changed for it. And also on the Friday before free agency starts in the NFL, again, you celebrate Bob Harlan, and he's like, all these cats are nice. All these guys are sweet. Tyler Linderbaum sounds like a great guy. None of them are the free agent. The free agent that he was a part of bringing in here in Reggie White. Like you think of where the NFL was when he first started in it.
Yeah, that's it.
To now, the salary cap, the split the players are getting this year is over $300 million. Like just you see the growth that they've witnessed over the last 35, 40 years. It's incredible. It's amazing. And it's guys like Bob Harlan and their intestinal fortitude. And sitting through some probably very, very dark and you said, I imagine he had some bad days. Drew, I imagine there were a lot of days where he went home and just needed to like smile into the mirror and say, hey, it's all good. I know you just got berated and screamed at for a long period of time here today. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Took a lot of arrows for a lot of Packers fans.
Tributes all day yesterday. Jim Nagy, who's he is the general manager of Oklahoma football.
Long time Senior Bowl guy too.
Yep, Senior Bowl guy. He said, very first day of my first job in the NFL with the Packers in 1996, Mr. Harlan called me up to his office. I was a PR intern, lowest person in the organization at that time. And the team president spent an hour asking me about my family, college experience, and life goals. Incredible lesson in leadership. Few men of this stature would have made time for a 22-year-old like me. Spent next 2 decades working in the league and never came across a finer man. From Jim Nagy, the longtime GM, like you said, of the Senior Bowl,
Oklahoma football,
and Oklahoma football GM. So a lot of tributes for Bob Harlan yesterday.
And that wasn't the only one, but I think my favorite part is almost every former player. Ron Wolf said one through Spoon yesterday. He said, what comes to mind, really such an honorable man. And he was a man of his word. He was trustworthy, loyal, and all the adjectives you want to use about a decent human being would describe Bob Harlan. And it seemed like everybody that had the interaction with him, Drew, and spoke about that moment, all they did remember was his memory and thought of your family more than anything else that you were doing. Like anything that was going to impact the business or anything, that was always going to be second to what you'd had at home.
Which is pretty impressive. You know, to do your job so well, to be such a legendary figure at your job, but also become that much better, even better of a person, right? I mean, that's I think the goal of everybody when they go through life, and he achieved it, no doubt. Yeah. I love this. There was also a story I read once when he was a UPI reporter living in Milwaukee, as you know, Drew. You know, so that's where he cut his teeth in reporting, and he was at a Packers game in the in the late 50s or early 60s. Was not working that night, but someone got sick, so he went down as a young guy to cover the Packers in the locker room or go in the locker room, got to ask Vince Lombardi some questions, and that was his first time meeting Vince Lombardi, you know, when he was a fill-in reporter for the UPI. So great stories I'm reading coming in. He made the announcement for Al McGuire. He got when he was the SID. We're hiring a new coach. We're hiring McGuire. He thought it was Frank McGuire, so he couldn't find Frank McGuire was a well-regarded coach at the time, as you know.
Oh, yeah. And
he couldn't find Frank McGuire. Then he said, the guy walks up and says, hey, I'm Al. I'm the new coach. It's a great story. So, you know, it's just the amazing. I think of all the amazing things he must have seen, you know, in his sports life, you know, the amazing stories he must have, or the things he saw, the things he experienced. And it couldn't have been easy.
Being the PR guy when Euchre's catching fly balls with a tuba.
I mean, and I can't imagine it would have been easy to like being in those owners meetings in some of those early days of his tenure in the NFL, the way the Packers probably were looked upon by the other owners, like, you know, you guys are the backwater, you guys aren't, you know, you guys don't belong here, or maybe you don't belong here because you're not a rich individual guy like us.
Correct.
You're just a guy that they hired to wear the tie, like, you know, and he probably had some battles and those things, you know, trying to stand up for us and stand up for the Packers in those meetings. So impressive when you think about those things.
Roger Goodell, the word was that a part of the reason the Packers got in line when they did to host the draft, which was a major success. Whoever has it,
massive.
Where is it this year?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, they're going to have something to live up to. I'm sure it's going to be a great show because it always is. But it was great, amazing success last year. And there was word that they wanted to do it while Mark Murphy was still present, kind of like a little, you know, going away present for Mark Murphy. Well, I think they also want to do it while Bob Harlan was still around. I think that was part of it as well, because that's how his legacy is. So again, not being maudlin today. We're just thinking about Bob Harlan. 877-794-1973. Packers have begun the process of clearing some cap. They restructured Xavier McKinney. There will be more of those. Meanwhile, and for Jerry and a Plow and others who thought we talked too much Bears yesterday, center suddenly retires. They trade their best wide receiver with a young quarterback on the rise. Does that give you confidence? And then, oh, by the way, they cut one of their glue guys on defense for cap reasons. It's like, oh, welcome to the NFL. Welcome to a successful side of the NFL.
Yeah, and welcome to what happens in year 3 of the rookie quarterback, right? Like the clock ends up starting to tick when you've been able to bolster the roster so much with the cap savings you have at quarterback. And Drew, the other thing is, like, I don't know about you. I was kind of surprised on how the DJ Moore trade was discussed yesterday. Like right when it happens, it was, of course. I mean, he's like the 4th option. He was like their 4th best wide receiver. Okay, all due respect to Luther Burden and his family. I know that he had a very, very good close to the year, good rookie year. Roma Dunze, the most important thing he did this year was what? Hurt his hand or his foot spiking the ceiling tile out after the victory. Like, he didn't have himself a phenomenal season. Colston Loveland looks like their number 1 option.
He's legit.
And I get they got younger guys that are growing with them. I think you take the potential layup away, it's tougher. But everybody just pinpointed the last throw of the year. And I guess you can always say it's like why Nestor Cortez and Devin Williams were traded for each other. I don't know that you could go back after that visual, but they get a 2nd-round pick. I think he's going to be phenomenal with the Bills. I mean, he is going to get a ridiculous amount of touches with Josh Allen, and he's right there in the prime of his career. So it's an interesting move.
Good fit for the Bills, and like, I don't know where's AJ Brown go now. New England?
I don't know. I don't think he gets traded at all. I don't think he gets traded.
Right,
but it seems like there's going to be potentially some more moves here in the next 3 days. Like there might be more action for the trade market than in free agency on Monday when we get here.
DJ Moore will thrive in Buffalo. He's used to cold weather. Well, not an issue, right?
Not going to be a problem.
For a while, so he should be okay. And Josh Allen's going to be throwing him the pill.
Played for Joe Brady in Carolina a little bit.
It's going to be a seamless transition. They're going to be pretty fired up about that because he put up big numbers there. And that dude, like, I remember when people wanted him in Green Bay. It's like the dude, he does take the ball. He gets on the field. And Roma Dunze, like, DJ Moore plays.
He plays. Yes.
He plays.
And he's out there. Yes. 100%.
He never got a lot of targets. I don't think Ben Johnson was ever really interested in making the focal point of the offense, which is something he wanted, understandably so, I guess. And, I do think it's interesting a little bit, like, oh, they got this return for a guy that wasn't doing anything for him. And then it's like Ryan Poles did a great job. I'm like, oh, he's also the guy that signed him. Wasn't he? Like, so I don't know if it was like such a great move. I mean, yeah, they got some return for him. I understand that, and he wasn't really part of it. They obviously hope those young guys, you mentioned Rome, Luther, and of course Colston's the main guy will transcend a little bit. But those are 3 big pieces you'd lose, and the Bears are having to come to terms with the cap situation a little bit, I think.
Now it is it definitely opens up some wiggle room, and they got options. I think they got 3 picks that they'll have 2 seconds obviously now with the Bills there at 60. None of them are particularly high. There's a lot of chatter and a lot of smoke about Max Crosby. I don't know that would be the way they go. I think they now become a prime target for Tyler Linderbaum, who ends up hitting free agency.
Yeah.
I also think the Chargers become a very, very interesting one. I've been on the Linderbaum train, but I don't know that I think it's one that I might have to get off, Drew. As much as I'd love for the Packers to get the best center in football and try to lock in and solidify the unit up front, I don't know that at this particular point in time you can possibly commit $20 million plus to that spot, especially if the smoke's true that the Packers are tampering with Brandon Aubrey trying to pay $10 million to the greatest kicker in the NFL.
Yeah.
I like that potential smoke going into free agency.
Maybe they're just done with not having that situation being solidified to some points. Like, we're just
whatever you got, pay him whatever you need, figure it out, and then don't let anything get blocked in front of him. That's been more of the problem.
Yeah, yes, but he is a weapon. I mean, there's no question about it. The guy,
Micah did call him his kicker at the Pro Bowl games. I don't know that maybe we weren't focusing in on that nearly as much. The Vikings also starting to take a hacksaw to all of their different pieces, right? You and I really liked the tandem of Hargrave and Jonathan Allen, and now gone.
Yeah, gone.
Both gone.
Gone.
Interesting how the Flores defense is able to, again, it's not like he hasn't been successful with kind of whoever he's had in there, but those are two big forces, and they played a ton of ball for them this year.
They did. Who's Jonathan Gannon bringing over from Arizona? Anybody? Any players?
I think everybody wanted it to be Budda Baker. That's definitely not happening.
Not happening.
The one that I think would be amazing would be Calais Campbell. Somebody
that'd
just
be a perfect fit.
Beef eater inside.
Big
the
beef
ageless
eater.
wonder.
The Ryan Pickett.
100%, and still can get after it, get after the passer.
Ring chasing and just have it on your resume that you finished your career there. Like, ask Julius Peppers how it worked out, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yes, that's the exact player that I thought of in that moment.
Maybe one day we'll just get a post on X of him in Lambeau Field looking around,
smiling
like we did for Julius.
And it would also be the shortcut route for the one thing that I desperately want the Packers to have: a Walter Payton Man of the Year winner. We can have the Walter Payton patch living on a Green Bay Packers jersey while you go into Soldier Field and win.
I like that, Billy. I like that. But you have to admit, don't you think the last few days before free agency is sort of like everybody looking at the same, back in the day was the East Bay catalog, everyone's looking at the same catalog, looking at all the cool stuff.
Or the International Mail catalog for Armen. That was a big one.
I honestly don't know that reference, so I'm gonna let it slide. But whatever.
But
it's like you only, not everyone can have these toys. Like, so everyone thinks their team is the one to get it. I know Bears fans are all excited thinking they're going to get Max, all this. It is funny to think how many fan bases across the league are going to, fantasize about the same players.
That's the under.
That's just the way it goes.
It's like with J.J. Watt, right? Everybody wanted J.J. Watt.
And you're sitting
and
around
bases. And
then they got more and more of their fire, the Stokes the flame stoked when JJ's like, I wanted to play there for $2 million. I wanted to play there for $3 million.
I would have been there for nothing.
And ESPN, Matt Bowen put out his top 100 free agents. Were you guys a little bit surprised that the Packers had 4 in the top 20?
I mean, Rasheed Walker won.
Rasheed Walker being 5,
I think that was
is definitely higher than people thought. Quay Walker being 10 might be a little bit higher. I think Rasheed is the one that people really get surprised about. And it speaks to he played better than people give him credit for at one of the 3 or 4 most important positions in ball. Like, he's gonna get some money.
I never would have dreamed though that I would see his name there. Then again, I don't follow the old linemen the way you do in some ways, like the way they're talked about, the way they're analyzed, the way they're performing. But hey, if the league thinks better of him, that is interesting, Billy. And it makes you wonder, well,
maybe,
I don't know. I mean, sometimes we get the market wrong too. Like, I'm blanking now on our guy the center that left in free agency and didn't get anything.
Josh Myers.
Myers. Yeah. Almost said right for some reason.
Well, and
so you just never know.
And they have Romeo Dobbs listed as the 3rd most valuable wide receiver on the market.
That I kind of get. Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely something. 877-794-1973 gets you in. Once again, Matt Lepay is going to join us today at about 7:25. Our halftime report coming up with Dolph about less than an hour from right now. We got some other nuts and bolts for you today.
Armen might have a catalog to look at here during the break too.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I looked at the East Bay catalog. All right, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I just had to throw it out
to that
there.
one and SI.
I just had to throw it out there. All right.
The Sears catalog, maybe.
Armen's going to find out what we're talking about next. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
What's that, a music deal?
Friday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app, and that's where you go. Today is like the last day. They can use the talkback feature to enter our Saz's VIP contest.
Well, and good, because deadlines spur action, so we'll get the best ones in here, and we'll get the best stories, and we'll get the absolute best memories, menu items from Saz's 50 years.
Use that talkback, the little microphone on the iHeart Radio app at Fox Sports Radio 920, and use it. Tell us your name, your hometown, your phone number, all important details in case you win, and then also your favorite memory of Saz's or your favorite menu item on the menu. It says if it's something you eat at festivals, if it's actually at the restaurant, if it's something you buy in the grocer's freezer, or in the condiments section where you can buy that Saz's sassy sauce or the onion sauce or all that barbecue sauce. 50 years anniversary. So here's the deal: you will win if you and a friend, if you win, will head to Saz's for the second game of the season, March 28th, and you'll get food and drinks and then a ride to the ballpark, and then a seat in the iHeart suite where there'll be more food and drinks, and then back to Saz's. It's going to be a hell of a day. It's a 6:00 game that night against the Brewers and the hated but less hated team from Chicago, the team from further. Southsiders.
That's a good point. They are, yeah. It's a little, well, it depends on the era. Right?
It depends on the era, but that used to be the rival, but not as much anymore.
Won't be Rate Field North. I can't imagine there will be a lot of Sox fans trying to drive their way up there. I think
so, but it's going to be a fun time. And the whole weekend, it's Festus Sazama again, kicking it old school, 50-year anniversary, heated tent outside, bands, huge fish fry on the off day on the Friday, Bloody Mary brunch on Sunday. Bands outside and just fun as Saz celebrates the 50th anniversary of the finest.
And Saz knows fun, so it's going to be a phenomenal weekend. It also is a great way to toast back to baseball, being back.
Indeed.
And also, again, sweet little figurine of American Family Field that you get there on that one. That's a good promotion that they're sending in that day.
Good promotion. Now, for the young people, and we've talked about this before, and we are inside 3 weeks from opening day, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. Very good. We like that nose. We like that.
But the Shamrock Shuffle is going to take place, I believe, this weekend in Milwaukee.
That's right. That's right. Gird your loins, as they would say once upon a time.
The Shamrock Shuffle, or some call it St. Practice Day. It's a bar crawl.
That's funny.
Great name.
The event planners, they got it fired up, and it's different. It's the number one St. Patrick's celebration around. And it gets a little sloppy.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
You think National Marquette Day led to some drunken behavior that needed to be squashed down? The Shamrock Shuffle in Milwaukee around Water Street and into
Deer
District, into Walker's Point. There's a lot of bars that take part in the Shamrock Shuffle. And it's like you buy a t-shirt and you just walk around and you just drink green
Buy
beer
the t-shirt, you start writing on it, you write your name, you write,
you got to have a slogan on the back of the nameplate.
Yeah, a slogan.
And
maybe you get a girl
wore my shirt today.
You should write your number on the back.
It's a great tradition. And there's 3rd Street, like we said, downtown Water Street, Brady Street, and Walker's Point. There are bars that take place in this. And it's quite the thing. Starting in the morning on Saturday, actually, yeah. So there's t-shirts, again, easily identifiable, people wearing the beads and stuff. For the young folks today, that has kind of become their we're out of winter, blow off
opening
steam.
Day.
It's their opening day.
It's the toast to the start of
the energy that the youngsters now put into the Shamrock Shuffle. It used to be just applied to opening day because Shamrock Shuffle didn't exist. And I like big events. I like gatherings.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how I know people of a certain vintage, people maybe, Billy, without 2 kids at home.
Yeah, it would have definitely been it. But the interesting thing is we will be making an appearance downtown tomorrow. Now we'll be going to the Marquette game and then to the Admirals game for Dropkick Murphys. Now, I would like to know if some people that are going to be doing the Shamrock Shuffle even know the Dropkick Murphys are playing at the Milwaukee Admirals game.
That'd be a great way to cap it off.
I mean, you want to talk about a great way to cap it off.
I agree.
Celebration.
Celebrating Irish stuff all day, and then you go see an Irish, a Celtic punk.
Goodness gracious, that is the capper. Now, I don't necessarily know how many two-fisted slobbers we need inside of Panther Arena coming up on Saturday night, potentially.
It's going to be a party, but the problem is...
Because I do know how I was at 6 o'clock on the Shamrock Shuffle.
That's right. That's exactly what I was going to say. You need people that are going to throw a complete game that day. And as we know, the thing about Shamrock Shuffle that's the day for really the Mizorowski types. That you're hot for 4 innings and then that's it. I mean, they're not really throwing complete games. I mean, you're not really saving yourself for the evening, and that's what it is. I mean, it's a big day for the Uber drivers.
Even though it's a marathon, you end up sprinting the majority of the day. You're right.
And especially if you're getting up early to open some of these bars with the green, doing the whole thing. But listen, it's a big day for the DoorDash drivers. It's a big day for the Uber drivers. We're at about 4 or 5 o'clock. You're going to be getting a lot of calls, and it's a big day for the street food vendors. My guys that are cooking out like sausages outside in the street, you're going to be getting like some hungry kids that are ready to,
My man in the Superman costume at the hot dog stand is going to be cooking it up.
Superman
this
guy.
would be a good day for our friend online that we saw yesterday, Hood Bocce.
That would be. It's a good day maybe for that to first try to
fire up the Blackstone in the trunk of your car.
In the trunk of the car, I don't know who
I don't know. You could fire. I think there's a lot of people that could use a little bit of fried rice probably in the middle of that day. Right there about 1 o'clock.
Right there.
That might end up working out. I did, Drew, I think last year is when I ultimately got taken off of the chain text.
That it was over for you, buddy?
From my buddies to like ask me if I was going to make it. Now, I don't know. I haven't made the shuffle in probably 3 years. Yeah, 3 years, because that was I have a 3 year. The first year, but that's when it ended. But it was always the text that I would get right around January of, "Hey man, I know it's probably tough, but the Shamrock Shuffle is on the 7th. Are you gonna be interested?" And it was a deep breath and a absolutely not. Wish I could,
right?
But no.
Yeah. No.
Then last year was the deep breath, knowing that we were about to have number 2 in a month. I was like,
should I give it one last run?
Do I try one last
run?
Do I throw the question out and see if we can get clearance? Luckily, your clearance, right? Any good driver that's listening to us, Jerry and a plow truck, knows number one important thing: know your clearance. We're trying to clear 11.9, and we only had 7 feet 4 inches of clearance. So we decided to backtrack that one up, Drew, and I will be observing from afar. But I do think I'm going to put my loading t-shirt on tomorrow.
There you go.
I think that's the last one, and
that's
one
of the best ones. Loading.
As I cleaned out the closet in October, I did keep one of the Shamrock Shuffle shirts. Just in case.
The tough thing about it too is it's not like I'll meet you out for one situation. This is not a casual. I'll meet you out for one.
There's no
beer.
one here.
This is an all day. Run a tab, call a cab, and then maybe go home, nap, and rally.
We'll try one spin on Dragon Link. Yeah, there's no turning back.
Pretty well.
It's all or nothing.
Big weekend line ahead in terms of Badgers at Purdue, Marquette, last home game, senior day, and of course, we got Bucks at home against the Jazz.
Yes,
and the Admirals hosting San Jose.
2 home
Dropkick
games.
Murphys
Tonight
with the Badger Band. Tomorrow, Dropkick Murphys. Going to be a time.
That is a cheers weekend and a great one at the rink.
No doubt. We are hanging out with you until 8 a.m. It is the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 jet. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to boil down to. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. You got to sit our guys after and make the play.
B right, all the way outside. Y left, fake 396 bag. D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
That's right. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. 920 Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison. Everywhere on the iHeart app. Everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, and X. NicoletLaw.com talking text line open today, 877-794-1973. But I will state, for the record, that I have low expectations of the talking text line. People are in weekend mode. You know, it's going to be a nice day. Chance of some storms today because of the weirdness of a southern front rolling in.
I agree, and I would always give a pass to our faithful and loyal listeners if they wanted to take a day off. But however, we do have some pretty good, a few good comments and questions coming in already on the talking text line. So once again, our listeners will outdo themselves. Well, that's my confidence.
Whenever Tommy's nickname for the city of Chicago comes into it, I'm always going to be a fan.
That's a big one right there, Billy. Yeah,
100% on the Bears base downplaying of the Moore trade. I was hearing he was the fourth option, and I was wondering if I missed an acquisition. No, it just shows their delusional thinking. Well, also, it does also set up the DJ Moore trade yesterday. Tremaine Edmonds being released. I think now the Bears have over $40 million of salary cap relief. Does open up the Bears to claim an offseason championship here once again.
That's once again. And I mean, I can't wait to see that banner go up.
Excited for them to put the banner up
in
here
Hammond, Indiana. When that banner up that says we cleared cap space on an underwhelming free agent that we signed. Or
next two finally won a playoff.
Yeah, exactly. So that those two are going to be there. Yeah, I mean, listen, DJ Moore had his season low numbers. I get all that. So, they move off him and like, oh, it's fine. We got Rome, we got Luther. There's some young, talented guys, obviously Colson Loveland, but, it's just still, you're losing important pictures or pieces of the picture there, and we'll see how they react.
Definitely, though, Drew wasn't Ben Johnson's guy.
No way, man.
No, that was clear.
Yeah, right. Like, you could just see it, and it doesn't seem like Ben Johnson is going to it definitely seems like he's fair with playing favorites. And he's very much okay with it. I understand it. You got guys that you were a part of drafting. Loveland was his first pick as the Bears head coach, but it was pretty clear that they were okay moving off of him.
Yeah. Ben has his ways. And the Bears, again, welcome to the successful side of the NFL where you got to say goodbye to players that you like that have been, kind of cornerstone
100%.
players. You got to shed them. You got to manage that cap. Managing success is as hard as attaining success.
100%, and being able to do it year after year, and for I know you're right at the forefront of the regression camp, and you and Armen are taking the leaders of that bandwagon.
And this is just off the field. I'm saying on the field, you can't win. You can't come back from double-digit deficits in the fourth
many
quarter,
times. No,
more than 5 times, and expect it to happen every time.
Just hard to believe.
But just that, I mean, they have a lot of draft capital. They have assets. I don't know how much of it that they're ultimately going to be able to utilize. And you talk about it, some of the vets that they got. Kevin Byard was one of the oldest players in a secondary in the NFL and led the NFL in interceptions.
Right.
That kind of performance I question.
Isn't that the thing? Like you thought you go in, it's like, all right, we're going to show up our defense now. We got to get some pass rush. And now, we got to replace a center. We got to replace. You didn't expect that.
Yeah.
And then life comes at you. It's curveball.
That's the biggest one. They didn't expect their 27-year-old center at the top of his game in a career to retire. So that's after having.
Now if they go now, but if they have money and they go get the top guy in the market, maybe the Wisconsin kid can end up in Green Bay.
And it's going to
very much so.
And it's going to depend on number 18.
Amherst. Let's go.
Piata's got a chance right here.
And as you know, Billy, you said it. It's true. It's going to depend on number 18. It's going to depend on Caleb Williams. If he's great, if he turns out to be a great quarterback, all the other stuff probably matters less, right?
Very much
that's
so.
just the way it goes in this league, and that's the reality of it for the Bears. So, he made those plays down the stretch last year. We'll see if he can continue doing it.
Who do you guys think right now going into free agency has like the most questions to answer? I mean, obviously Minnesota has the biggest question at the most important position.
Absolutely.
But I don't know that a lot. Maybe we just have put them a little bit more onto the back burner. The Packers have a significant amount of questions to kind of answer themselves, right? Like,
absolutely.
And they have like 4 or 5 different pretty significant holes that are going to be available. I know John asked us earlier on, do you see the Packers trying to re-sign any of their free agents? Drew, I'd be surprised if they didn't try to get something done with Kingsley Enagbare before he hits the market.
That would be a guy. Yeah.
I don't
more than Gary.
I'd be stunned if it.
Than Quay.
The more and more I'm thinking of the Rashawn Gary one, I'm wondering if there's a restructure headed this way.
I was wondering about that too, because you do kind of need that bookend, right? You need somebody.
But digging into seeing some more of the conversations, and if you really go back into Micah Parsons, what do you talk for? Like 18 minutes after at locker cleanout day?
He'll talk to you. If you get a mic in front of him, he'll talk to you, and it's always interesting.
I don't remember if you heard number 52's name. Like I remember him talking a lot about Lucas Van Ness. I remember him talking about Agbare. I remember him talking about DY a lot and Devontae Wyatt coming back. I don't fully remember it. And there was a lot in there of like, I dare people to beat me to the ball. I dare people to out hustle me and outwork me. So like maybe there could be a little bit of conflict of interest of a lot of the videos that we've seen of Rashawn Gary. And maybe that one's still just sitting here. The Packers very rarely will clear the cap room until they very much need it.
And it did seem like you're right in that type of, the conversation with Micah, that it was a lot of like, I'm going to be a leader now and everybody has to match the effort and energy that I put into it. And maybe I didn't see a lot of that. And now it's time for us to ask ourselves, what can we do more in the offseason? What can we do more to help our team? Are we doing enough in our own time? And you're right, Billy. You can't help but think that those might have been pointed at certain guys, or maybe just in a general lack of that attitude enough on defense. So, I think that there's something there. Troy has the funny YouTube text.
He didn't say his name. Just like the announcers the last 8 weeks of the season didn't say 52.
All right. I mean, hey, listen, it's fair comment.
Very true.
Fair comment.
Very true.
Now, Goody said he played well. Okay.
Brian did say that. Brian did say he played well and played better than people will give him credit for. Marcus on the talk and text line. Packers should put that $10 million instead of into the kicking field goals into the offensive line. Then they can spend more time scoring touchdowns, and then instead of coming up and making short kicks.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean, listen, this is one of Goody's biggest challenges, I think, this offseason. Because he took over since he took over in 2018. Think about it. They don't have a first round pick. They're not really flush with salary cap space, but there's positions in desperate need of upgrades. So, in a cornerback, is there ways to fix these problems on a cheese and crackers budget? I'm not saying that's what it is, but the reality is we don't have so many assets right now. Oodles of cap space, 3 first, you don't have all those things, and it's his job to go and find great players, find players that are going to upgrade at positions and try and help your team win and win in the playoffs. I think that's the next step, obviously, for this team. As we all know, they've been able to make the playoffs, but how can you get your team to that next level? It's a challenge for Goody. So you talk about questions. In the offseason, the Packers have their share.
The offensive line is a big one, Drew. And I mean, we've talked more about Jordan Morgan without being able to see him a ton. And that's the easiest piece that needs to be significant and perform really, really well next year. But the center spot's an interesting one. And going back to the free agents, the one guy that I've had people ask and like say, I think they should bring him back. I definitely think they'd bring him back. That I just don't see is Sean Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't see that one back. I could see Quay Walker before I could see maybe a Sean Ryan. And
agreed.
Quay Walker feels like it would be a Hail Mary because there's a number of other inside backers that they might feel are more appealing on the open market. And they could just replace him with somebody else that they see for a little bit cheaper spot. But that one I think could be a possibility. Any chance Romeo Doubs is back in your mind?
No.
Yeah, I struggle to see it, even though the productivity, I do believe, would lend him to have more of a conversation.
Yeah, he's productive. What might be the problem? I mean, he's going to probably demand too much money on the market for a team that's deep enough at receiver with other guys. Or I think we think that we're deep
I was going to say, they think they're deep enough.
Yeah, that's fair, but you got to stay healthy. But I mean, when I start lining up the guys,
and Golden, Dontavian Wicks,
Reed,
I'm not going to put Dontavian Wicks in front of him,
which is too bad because I think he has talent and he started showing.
No, but
it.
I mean,
yeah.
But with Reed, Watson, I mean,
I get
Golden,
it. I think they're just not going to spend money. There's my point. They don't have to. But he
and
comes out
Savion
on it.
Williams.
He comes out on it. That's what Dontavian told us here on Packers OT.
Savion Williams is a high draft pick.
Yeah. Well, they run him a gap. He's not a receiver. He's a fullback. So I'm just saying,
6'3".
I would love to have Romeo back at the price, whatever, in a perfect world. I mean, I love Romeo Doubs. He's a consistent hands receiver. One muffed onside notwithstanding, he was great for the Packers. And,
very true.
And if the money's right and he's worth it, maybe the market won't be what I think it is. Maybe it's not that I don't like him as a player. You
didn't draft Golden and Williams to keep Romeo Doubs.
No, but you also didn't play those guys.
Wasn't the blueprint.
Those guys didn't really earn a whole lot of opportunity on there. Now, the way Watson played would have you believe that they're going to sign him to another extension.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're going to talk about the price being different, how much of a difference would it be if you lock up Romeo for 4 years and then you move off of Watson? and try to recoup some assets there and offset it with pricing that's beside.
Dobler says in the YouTube, I'd rather keep Dobbs over the brittle Reed. It's about availability. I don't know if that's fair, but he did get hurt a lot. I don't know if it's they call him brittle, but he took. But the thing about Jaden Reed is when he was healthy, he was making his first couple of years one of the most explosive plays for the Packers in the back end, especially when Watson was out, and that's huge for any offense is explosive plays. The Packers value that very, very highly, and they're gonna probably value the guys that give them the best chance to do so. But you have a point though about if Watson gets the deal, Billy, and who else is in there. Golden didn't play. I mean, that was the disappointment for many Packers fans, but he did finally get the touchdown in the playoffs. Maybe that will be the catapult for him. There are questions to answer in that regard. I think the rest of the division too has a fair amount of questions. The Lions have a new offensive coordinator. How is that going to work in? Their best ability was their explosive offense the last few years. As their window closed, they had a disappointing year. We'll see.
Looks like it.
So.
They got them. Yeah, they got themselves a number of different opportunities to hit something in the free agent pool. Now, I'd be if Linderbaum goes up to Detroit, that would be the interesting one, right? Like, I mean, you immediately right back into a conversation with a massive question answered with the best guy in the league at it.
And that would be huge. Where do you think, like, now the Tua's going to be, they're going to sever ties. Which one of those guys ends up with the Jets? Is it Kyler Murray ends up with the Jets as their bridge quarterback?
Oh,
chance, or obviously you'd rather go to Minnesota, does Minnesota say no, thanks, but no?
I think the Jets, and maybe this is just
you can get them for that cheap.
The way right? I think they should do. I think they're going to be a little bit more outwardly tanking this year, right? Like I think I wouldn't be surprised if you see not him, but a Cody Kessler like name where you're like, holy cow, that guy's starting games in the NFL again,
like Brissett maybe or somebody like that. I don't know.
Very much so. Yeah. Like you could see something like that. All of a sudden, Jameis Winston ends up over there and he's starting games. Mr. Unlimited. Wouldn't have to move. Like I don't think they're in any serious build where they're like, do we take this shot?
But
because we definitely want to get Art.
Kyler Murray's not going to be expensive though, right? Because of
in theory, right?
Paid by the Cardinals, and
right? But I'm saying they're going to go after somebody with a very much less competitive market.
So they don't go 6-7 wins. Right?
Yeah, you do not want to win 6 games against the New York Jets.
The problem for the Jets is their reputation's floundering so much that guys are now going to have the option to stay in college. Like even tanking and getting a good pick, you can't get the right player because guys either don't want to play for you.
Moore. You know what? I'd rather play in Oregon.
It's amazing, and then how do you really fix your stuff? I mean, if you don't have the right guys in place, the personnel, the right ownership, the guys don't want to come play there, and you're not even allowed to draft good players because they won't come to you. They won't come to the draft if you're around. It's like, man, I'm not even going to the dance if she's going to be there because I didn't want her to talk to me. Like, you know what I mean?
I know how this is going to end.
Yeah.
Frank Reich is the OC.
The new OC there
for Aaron Glenn. So quarterback whisperer, perhaps.
Kirk or Kyler seems to be the answer in Minnesota. I think it seems like that's the question they're trying to go.
Can it? Like, wouldn't you rather have Kyler Murray than Kirk? Even in a bridge quarterback situation, like could take Kyler for a year. Like, hey, come on for a year. Man, enjoy New York and all it has to offer, and then put the paddles to your career and see,
Let me make this clear, Drew. I definitely think they're going to pitch it. Oh, yeah. I don't think anybody's taking that offer. I think that's like if you're the fish that's swimming around in the pond and all of a sudden you see bread, hot dog, bait. I'm probably not going after the bread.
Yeah, but there's all right, so you get in Minnesota, you get KOC, you get Justin Jefferson, Addison, you get
indoors, you get a nice situation.
Cushy sitch.
Atlanta's another one. Like people are really, really firing up Atlanta as a possibility for Kyler Murray, with Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson.
Tua ends up with the Jets when he gets released, or what? Then Tua could be the Jets quarterback. Isn't that tanking too?
That would be. I think.
Yeah, it could be. The Tua one, I don't know that anyone's given him a chance. I don't know that anybody's signing up with Tua being their number one option.
To start, yeah.
Because you know that you're one hit away from being in the exact same situation.
That's a good point. You want to be that team, yeah.
If you're a tanking team, Drew, you're right. It would make some sense. It helps.
Isn't that kind of the same with Cousins, the way he's like not mobile and could be a sitting duck with a bad offensive line?
Yeah, but I mean, you actually don't worry about him not being able to get up,
True.
right? I mean, Tua, he might actually be completely
concussion stuff. Yeah.
And Kirk has been, despite the Achilles, incredibly durable. Now he can't move as well, but he's got great arm talent. You still saw it later into the year when they started winning a bunch of games in Atlanta. He was one of the catalysts of it to getting the rock around. The Minnesota piece, if you're choosing between Kyler Murray or Kirk Cousins, one completely admits that you're out of the JJ McCarthy business. Right? Like if you sign up for Kyler Murray, you're embracing the fact that JJ doesn't start for you.
But if they give him another
because
chance,
the goal is for Kyler Murray to be awesome on the minimum.
Absolutely.
You extend him for 3-4 years,
right, and
then you're out of the McCarthy business.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is 1 to 1.5, 2 years, and then you're going to try and put the paddles, I think, to McCarthy because he then sees a vet do it. It depends on how much Kevin O'Connell still believes in JJ McCarthy. He said his thoughts and belief has not changed in JJ McCarthy. Just the timeline has changed.
What
has changed.
What were his original thoughts and beliefs?
He believes JJ McCarthy's a dude.
Because Kwesi's gone. I get it. Okay, so if he believes, so yes, if you get Kyler, you might not be in the JJ McCarthy business. But if you have JJ McCarthy, you still try to make him your starter, you might not be in the winning business. And that's the problem for the Vikings because I think they're closer to a larger seismic change in their organization than not. I mean, you're talking about a GM. I think O'Connell's a really good coach, but this would be the second year if they don't play well this year that he's kind of underwhelming. I'm not sure they'd fire him. Maybe he doesn't want to stay around. I'm not really sure what the future holds.
I like where you're thinking there. I like where your head's at.
And then
there.
Who knows? I mean, they got a new stadium. Maybe they want to get out of town and move the franchise. You don't know what's going to happen. Last part's a joke.
Well, I mean, he's got one of the richest contracts in the league. Hasn't won a playoff game.
Yeah,
it would be. There's going to be some heat. There's going to be some pressure to finally get the wins and losses. But I mean, if you talk about scapegoats, it sounded pretty loud that Kevin O'Connell was going to make the quarterback decision there in Minnesota.
Well, that's the thing.
And the other guy ended up getting fired when it didn't work out. So
yeah, he won the power struggle, right? I mean,
unless it was hey, you go figure out the contract, and he didn't hold up his end of the bargain, Drew. There could be then I do believe he's all in on McCarthy, and that they might try to go somewhere more with a bridge. But do you agree? Like if you go with Kyler, you're hoping that you're never starting JJ McCarthy again.
In theory, yes. You want him to play well. Absolutely. If he plays well, you're signing him again. So I'd have to agree
28
with you.
years old?
Unless you're going to trade him. Unless you're going to trade him.
You go on a looky-loo. If you have a good year, you sign with them. If you have a decent, you're going to be you'll be able to go test the water somewhere else.
Yeah, what am I saying? I mean,
Jets aren't going anywhere.
They let somebody win 14 games and walk. They definitely can get rid of Kyler again.
Then we'd be talking about the year after this
what
one.
What am I talking about?
Then we'd be talking about the fourth year that McCarthy, they're trying to make McCarthy work. And no one's gotten that many chances and not perform. Not even Jeff George.
Good one here from Tommy and Stalis. From tanking for Tua to tanking with Tua.
That's how it goes.
Or tanking because of Tua.
Tankable. I mean,
life comes at you fast.
Good one.
877-794-1973. We've reached halftime. When we come back, Scott Dolphin's going to join us. And we will follow up on the bet between Armen and Billy from yesterday. We will follow up because someone followed up in a big way.
Yes.
Scott Dolphin joins us next. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. We are huddled up on a Friday in the good land. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison. Everywhere on the iHeart app, which is your ticket to enter the Saz's VIP question. Last day, VIP contest. Last day for that. Do it using the talkback function. We got some entries yesterday. Your last chance.
Yeah, last chance to get in
is here. So
got to get to the
March
dance.
28th. You'll be going to Saz's for a little pregame, a little food and drink. Shuttle on over to American Family Field. Enjoy the game in the iHeart suite. And then shuttle back to Saz's King Day, basically. Festus Sazama's going on all weekend if you don't win. So check him out. Opening day, Thursday, tent, heated tent, bands, music, throwback specials, huge fish fry Friday, Sunday brunch, Bloody Mary brunch. It's going to be an awesome weekend.
We talk about golden tickets that Saturday, and Saturday's a pretty
It's gonna
golden
be pretty
ticket.
good.
Yes.
Scott Dolphin joins us. Speaking of golden tickets, hello, Dolph. Couple things for you. First of all, the Glazer there is compliments of Armen via the Whitnall Falcons girls basketball team.
Come on, Riley and company.
Congrats to the Whitnall Falcon ladies who beat my my Greenfield Hawks last night in the tournament. Now, we started off hot. It was 6-0, I think. Then it was like a 33-6 run or something. So Whitnall
Take
put
you
it
right
to
out
us.
of the game, those
Yeah.
33-6 runs.
On to victory, fight on for the win. Keep your colors waving proudly in the game you'll win.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, now here's the thing. You know it was played at Muskego. All right. So as you know, if you look
Neutral
at maps,
site.
If you look at maps, that's a little bit closer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that must have been the difference.
Sorry, neutral site.
You guys
couldn't
lost.
get the alumni out there, huh?
Listen.
It was even closer to the alumni base out there that outsourced themselves from the east side of Greenfield.
If you guys, Armen gets credit. Give him his
got
flowers.
the Glazers.
He sacked up.
Appreciate
he
it,
paid
brother.
off his debt
I
right
drove-
away.
I drove out of my way to get those.
That's
Glazers.
right.
To Muskego?
One of our former coworkers finished last in fantasy football. Was supposed to set up a lemonade stand at Highway 100.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And Beloit, he never did. That was
That's
supposed
right.
to be. He was supposed to spend like 6 hours or until he made $100, whichever came first.
Who was that?
That was the guy that no longer works.
I tell you what, no, that might have been actually found like in a way like unexpected treasure because there are margins in lemonade stands now.
Oh, come on.
There are. Hey, what does it cost to make a jug of lemonade, especially if your mom makes it?
I would buy some Glazers and sell those for $5 a piece.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
100%.
But these little kids, all right, they're selling lemonade in the stand. I'm walking the Greenfield Village last summer. Their kids are like, they're selling for like $1 or $2 these days. I'm like, wait a minute.
Cheap ass.
Wait a
All
minute.
right, so-
I bought some. And then the girl goes, I don't have any. We're out of lemonade. I'm like, all right. Well, what do you have? Cupcakes and water. I'm like, all right, give me a cupcake and a water. I still paid. I still got it.
Armen looking for the 2-for-1 discount.
Even better deal.
Where's the coupon for the lemonade
They
stand?
were mini cupcakes.
Armen's
bro.
not going unless he can
Are you
find
guys in
one.
the entertainment book?
So,
That's a great pull.
so now can we get? Now there's a tough matchup though, because after having dispatched with the
Big
fighting
time, yes.
Armens, you're fighting Falcons. Can we get Billy into the Falcon costume again?
Oh yeah, come
be
on.
the
now.
mascot because they're facing Whitefish Bay on Saturday, and
No,
the
we want
and the
Whitnall to win.
Caitlin Clark of Whitefish Bay, Rowan Council, Craig Council's daughter.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
The all-time leading scorer in Blue Dukes history. I think she is going to be shooting down Whitnall.
So it could be a tough matchup.
It's a matchup
Tough.
of two all-time leading scorers. 'Cause My
Right.
cousin Riley Ward won the scoring title at Whitnall. So
Wow.
it's going to be a matchup, dude. I'm excited for it. Bad thing is,
Is that back at Muskego, by the way?
It's at Waukesha North.
Waukesha North.
North, okay.
Yeah, so
That's
even,
fair.
Unlike last
It's like
night.
kind of
That's
more than
fair.
Unlike last night, yeah. Unlike last night,
All right.
the problem is I'm trying to scheme it up. I don't know that there's any possible way that I'd get from Panther Arena to the close of that game for
I
the
know,
celebration.
that's
So
tough.
might just have to meet the celebration at McDonald's on Highway 100
Yeah,
and
there
Forest
you
Home
go.
after.
Just go from the Panther Arena to Whitefish Bay. That's a short hop, and you can celebrate right there. Go up there and celebrate.
Bringing the heat. Bringing the heat.
Honking
All right,
horns.
so Dolph,
I was cheering for the Hawkeyes last night. Son of a
Oh, man. Tough one.
we spent a lot of time today talking about Bob Harlan, who
Yeah.
touches a lot of bases for us because he's a Marquette alum like
Right.
Armen
Right.
and a Des Moines native.
Yeah, he was. And I actually knew Bob a little bit. My brother, Gary, and his son, Brian, were great friends, still get together occasionally. Brian's a big-time agent now.
Yeah.
If you want to look him up, he's got a lot of high-power clients. But I got to know Bob and Madeline, his wife, through Brian, to the point where I got him tickets to a couple shows at Bradley Center back in the day, Reba McEntire. And Bob gave us unbelievable access during those Super Bowl runs in New Orleans and San Diego. I'll remember to my dying day, sitting out in La Jolla at the Packer Hotel out on this beautiful deck overlooking the ocean. Bob gave us what seems like unlimited time in interviews And he also set up great interviews with some of the players too. Just a great dude. Yeah. I always remember thinking, is this a put on or is he really this nice?
Right.
Because
that's the thing.
He's running one of the most, storied franchises in sports history, and he was just the best guy alive.
No ego. He's so
nice.
Gracious. Iowa nice. Yeah.
Yeah. He was, speaking of Caitlin Clark, I believe Bob went to Dowling.
Catholic,
Dowling
Catholic,
right?
who just made state and boys in the Iowa State tournament. Yeah, my buddy's the head coach. Congratulations,
that's awesome.
Justin Anderson. He brought him to state.
And that's Caitlin Clark's school, isn't it? Did she go to Dowling?
That's exactly where she went. Yeah, it's her alumni.
That's Bob Harlan's alumni as well.
Yeah. And we were saying it, Dolph, like it's hard. You're not going to find anybody with a bad word about him, but like it was almost, you could tell people that were giving statements yesterday, and whatever it is, 140 characters or 280 characters, whatever you get, people felt like they almost felt bad saying anything about the football related conquest that he had because of just the genuine nature that he had and how personable he was. And it's the team is clearly not where they are today if it's not for Bob.
My God.
But just the relationship that people have with each other, like people got all over a bunch of the Packers beat writers this year because LaFleur stopped over at Banky's house, right? And they had a picture, whatever. Well, in the 90s, you were very much able to sit down and have a conversation and maybe a cocktail with somebody that was maybe a decision maker if they were personable. Bob Harlan was the most personable human being.
He was
anybody,
and he had to be a politician when they tried to. He had the vision, along with the other Packer brass, of turning Lambeau Field into what you see today. Because you guys were probably both there back in the day too. When I first moved to Milwaukee, it was not a pleasant place to spend a Sunday afternoon as far as a game day experience. The game was great. Yeah. You were at legendary Lambeau Field, but it was almost like a glorified high school stadium, those cramped, damp little concourses. And there wasn't much to that place except the field bowl itself.
Yeah, it was definitely prehistoric.
It was. And so, he got the
area around it too. I know it's just different now.
He was the guy though that got that half-cent. He was, flying the flag to get that half-cent sales tax approved. And probably his biggest move was bringing in Ron Wolf, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be it.
And giving him power.
Yeah, and not meddling.
Good point.
Yeah, not meddling in the football ops.
Yeah.
I mean, moving out of Milwaukee,
that took some.
The pushing through, and this was a time when the Brewers had gone through their funding thing, and then the Packers winning a Super Bowl was good for business, and it was good to help get the referendums passed to get the funding. For
to his credit and to their credit, they still kept those Milwaukee season ticket holders somewhat happy by giving them the gold package to what you see today in Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of places wouldn't have done that.
No. And I mean, again, I think about it with having my kids, all three, we talked about Herb Cole, Bud Selig, and Bob Harlan.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not for those guys, there's not professional sports in that many professional sports, at least 3 in the state of Wisconsin.
It's true.
And I'm glad Drew threw in Pat Richter
Iowa
as well.
Right.
We're Des Moines.
3 franchises away from being.
That's true. Now, keep in mind,
a nice AAA city. I hate to say it, but
it is a nice. Des Moines is a nice city.
It is.
It's a nice place.
I've
been there and I enjoyed it, but it's that a lot of times when you talk about is the reputation of a city. Sports, having big league sports is one of those things that separates it. You know?
And you're never going to see that. I mean, Iowa's got less than half the population that Wisconsin has. I think it's a little under 3 million total. But minor league sports, they knock it out of the park, man.
They're one of the best. AAA. I don't mean that. I don't really mean that to with disdain. I mean,
I don't know. My kid only thinks of the Iowa Wild. We had the Minnesota Wild on last night, and he goes, Iowa?
Because of the Admirals,
Because of the Admirals. He don't care about no NHL, AHL, and who are the Admirals.
That's awesome.
So it works out. They're right there out in the park.
Oh, that's awesome.
I do also like they just grabbed the name of the actual team. Iowa Wild, Iowa Cubs.
I think that's
they own the team. I think that's the thing in the NHL, AHL. Some parent companies own their minor league teams, obviously, but Admirals are independently owned.
Yeah,
so
I didn't know that some franchises own.
I
their
think
teams.
that's the way that works. I could be wrong, but I think that's the way it works. So and that's why there's a lot of the parent clubs that have similar names and color schemes. For instance, the Admirals are playing the San Jose Barracuda, not the Sharks. So like a smaller version of a fish that's mean. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I was snorkeling off of Cozumel one year, and the dude took us down to. He pointed at this fish, and it turned out it was a barracuda, and I was like, I can't really see it, and he grabbed this thing by the tail and pulled it out of its little cave, and I saw the teeth. I'm like, Put it back. Oh my God.
It's a great story.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. No thanks.
Billy doesn't want to be around seafood when in live form or even battered and fried. He doesn't want to be around any seafood.
No. I there's too much we do not know about what's going on under that water. Everybody's all worried about what's going on in the extraterrestrial. I don't think we're understanding and worried about what the threat is and what is going on underneath that.
True. There's a lot of things that can
Billy
kill you.
looks at seafood the way the McDonald's CEO looked at his new burger. Did you guys see that?
Yes.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Come on now.
I got to try one of those, though. Isn't it basically a double quarter pounder with
I
Big
think
Mac
so.
sauce?
Looks like it.
I'd be in bed for days if I
I
tried
think
that.
I got to
at my
try
age.
one, though.
No,
Gotta try
you'd
at
be
least a
fine.
couple
Get
of
out of
bites.
here.
I'll be honest with you.
Fine,
After
Ben.
our conversation yesterday and the 1,500 ads that I then saw for Whoppers and Whopper Juniors off of our
Oh,
Burger King
yeah.
conversation,
Dobler, yeah,
I think
Dobler.
that's going to be
Your
the stop.
devices are spying on you.
Big Brother software.
Dobler says Burger King's announcing that they're increasing the size of the Whopper. And if that's an overreaction, I don't care because, hey, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Lifts all
Because
boats.
some of those sandwiches are getting smaller. Look at the fillet of fish. That's all I'm going to say.
Armen, my problem with
I'm
a lot
not
of
gonna
burgers and
put
and
ass.
even fish fries nowadays is like NCAA tournament. I'll spend 2 days in a bar, and by Sunday I'll be like, oh boy, it's time to detox
I
from
hear you.
food,
No, I hear
not
you.
drink.
Yeah, that is kind of
It
rough.
does happen. All of a sudden, you're like, you know what? I could really use some green beans.
Maybe
Little bean salad. Little bean salad. That's right, buddy.
I need some steamed broccoli.
Yeah,
Some
maybe I
bean
need
salad.
some cauliflower in my life. This is just
Roughage.
You know when
tough
that's
scene right
tough. Oh, you're just dripping in the summer when you go on one of those heaters and it's just come out of your pores.
Like, is that just the meat sweats?
No, it's just
No, it's in everything sweat, and it's it could really aid by some good in my life. But it does allow us to remember that March is not for the faint of heart. We are going to walk into a time where your best is going to be required. And Dolph, those days of you in the bar during the NCAA tournament,
Let's go.
I know that you're ready to be at your peak, but are you doing what's proper? Are you doing what's necessary? You prepping your body for it? I think you maybe nursing that glazer a little bit too long. I think we got to be fueling ourselves through.
What kind of a sick joke is it not to tell me you had glazers and then I sit down 28 seconds before we crack the mics? I
Yeah.
take one bite and I have to sit here and look at it for 20 minutes.
It's
Hey, you
taunting
should
you.
cheer-
It's true. That was sick play by us. Yeah.
You should have cheered for Greenfield then, I guess. Although I don't know, we would have still got the glaze. You know what? I was trying to fish out my letter jacket and everything. I'm glad I didn't waste too much time on that.
Hey, what about the boys? Do they have a shot this year?
I haven't looked, but I would assume I would have heard
Great
about
fan.
it. I would have.
You would have heard about it. Yeah, great fan.
I guess.
He doesn't have
I
a
can't
relative on
lie.
the team,
I'm
Billy.
just kidding.
I can't lie.
I'm just kidding.
But the important thing is all the kids had fun. They played with sportsmanship in
Yes.
class. This is not about winning and losing, right? Last night wasn't about who won.
They do keep
It was
score.
about that everybody went out and had a great time. Nice job, ladies.
I
You
still
know?
have my letter jacket. We should all wear them in here sometime.
Well, we
right?
just talked about it. I don't
Yeah?
think Billy had one, right?
You never had a letter jacket?
A lot of
No.
kids don't have them
Really?
anymore.
Oh, okay.
I had
Younger
one from
generations.
Burghardt Sports. Absolutely.
That's where I got
Right up the
mine.
street, yeah.
I'm like, Mom, we got to go to I'm like, we got to go all the way to 129th and Capitol, wherever it was, to get my Greenfield High School Burghardt Sports letter jacket. And I was looking forward to the day I put that first academic letter on there.
You wore that all Southridge style in a profile on
you have
Armen?
no
Those things are like time capsules, man. We got the patches on ours, conference champs, whatever year, and then you get the little medals you stitch on. Oh, those are great.
My senior year, they used to have captain's letters. All right, where it had a star on the letter. And my senior year, I was captain for volleyball and tennis, which was very nice. You know, like my peers voted me and stuff like that. But the captain's letters hadn't come back, so we're like a month left of school, and they had just gotten them in because they were going to bring back. I was knocking on the AD's door like
Daily.
every morning, be like, "Did the letters come in yet?" Because I was captain, I should get one of these. And he gave me a captain's letter. If I would not, if the squeaky wheel gets the grease, if I wouldn't have annoyed him for like 2 weeks to get it, he wouldn't have given me one and just get me out of his office. So I'm glad I did.
High school
I
Armen was exactly like today. Modern day
not much
Armen.
different.
No
Not
doubt.
much different. You know, a little, a little more nervousness, but pretty much the same, I guess.
Voice any higher?
My freshman year of high school, but not once we hit the sophomore year.
Yeah, baby.
I walked into chorus. My sophomore year, I walked into chorus. I was in the choir, and I had a conversation with the teacher. She said, "Armen, you became a bass this summer. You were a tenor. You became a bass. There you go."
Nice.
Oh,
Did you go
man.
through the DARE program? Sounds like you started picking up a
my
habit.
goodness.
Yeah, no,
So-
I did.
We were talking about, we've got Marquette playing senior day. We got the Bucks playing Saturday night. We got Admirals, 2 games, Friday and Saturday. Badger Band on Friday. And then, of course, Dropkick Murphys on Saturday at Panther Arena. Badgers playing at Purdue, their finale, tuning up for the Big Ten tournament. All kinds of stuff. Brewers still playing in spring training. There's the sports show at State Fair Park, and there's a anime convention at the Baird Center downtown. So this is going to be a lot of people.
That's the best.
And it's the Shamrock Shuffle.
Yes, when you get the anime kids in there with the Shamrock. Oh my
Oh,
goodness,
my.
It's going to be fun.
I was looking at the sports show, and they've got that the trout pond, which is there every year. The kids can fish.
Oh, yeah.
But they were building something called the Hog Trough, which apparently is this massive aquarium where professional fishers, you see them sitting on top, and they try to catch fish in this hog trough. I'm intrigued by that. There's all kinds of fish, different types of fish that are in there and that they're trying to catch. I guess it's like a tournament competition right there at the sports show.
Wow. I'm interested in that. I did stay away from State Fair Park last week because it was the RV show. And I had a feeling I was potentially going to get RV showed if I went in there.
That's awesome.
Armen remembers last year.
Yeah.
I got the major itch to become an RV guy.
The
sports show that trout pond is the one, Dolph, that I'll go fishing. That's the one that we'll throw a rod. We'll get the youngster over on that.
I remember years ago though, down at the Mecca when it used to be downtown, when they still had that old convention center.
Oh, yeah.
You'd walk in there by about the last day, that trout pond was getting pretty ripe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was rough.
No fish that are left are just sitting there.
They're just killing me now, you know?
Yeah, we've done remotes from there. We've done.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
That's a staple.
I had forgotten about that old Mecca complex where they had the catwalk.
Oh, yeah.
Across the road and, God, that brings to the arena, right?
Oh, yeah. I loved it.
But it does look like we could get another matchup.
Oh, yeah?
Well, they're in this. The Whitnall boys and the Greenfield boys are the 5 and 6 seed in the same section.
That's pretty evenly matched.
They both need a pair of upsets. Whitnall is going to take on Greendale tonight.
I'm cheering for Whitnall on that.
And then
one.
Whitnall would have to knock off the 1 seed Waterford to be able to reach a matchup of Greenfield if they can survive.
And Waterford's
Milwaukee, Bayview, and Greendale Martin Lewis.
I want to see the rematch just so I can get the ancillary glazers.
I was gonna say you want the kickback.
I got the kickback. I don't have any skin in this game, but I got a glazer in my hand.
You got a potential future.
Thanks to Armen.
It's
for
win-win for
off.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on from DJ Moore, Tremaine Edwards. The NFL comes at you fast.
It sure does. DJ Moore wasn't really surprising, I guess, if you listen to all the Bears insiders. He's going to make $28.6 million this year, by far and away the Bears' highest paid player. But I thought that was a good deal for both teams. I mean, I think he'll be fine in Buffalo.
Really good there.
Yeah. And you saw what he can be, but the numbers. I mean, the Bears have drafted well, and they got some young horses behind them. There's 3 that come to mind that are going to be really good if they stay healthy.
Yeah, in a pair that were drafted by the head coach. Like you could tell that there was a lot of that conversation that one was in with the crew and the other one might not have been.
And remember, he was nothing but good while he was there, but he was kind of a bonus throw-in in that deal with Carolina. They wanted the number 1 picks. They got the number 1 picks. And oh, by the way, you can have DJ Moore as well. Well, pretty awesome. He was a 1,000-yard receiver his first year there.
Yeah, that trade worked out pretty well in all totality for the Bears. If you piece all the pieces of it together.
I mean, Tremaine Edwards, a great leader in the locker room. You lose Dahlman, the center. I mean, these are guys, and Dahlman played every snap.
Core guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are core guys. So we'll see how and by the way, now you're going to be playing a more difficult schedule, first place schedule. I saw the Vegas over and under is 9, I think, 9.5.
That trade ended up as Panthers getting Bryce Young, Bears, Caleb Williams, Darnell Wright, Tyreek Stevenson, Luther Burden, and a 2026 second round.
They won
DJ
that.
Moore.
And
the
2 years of
services
DJ
of it,
Moore
yeah,
and 2 game-winning touchdowns by that son of a.
Dolph, you are free to enjoy your glazer and enjoy your weekend, my friend.
Thanks, Armen. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks for popping in at halftime. We'll make our adjustments and be back on the other side. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I got to talk to third graders today.
Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. This portion of the program brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. GameDayMen'sHealth.com is the website. If you're feeling mental fog, maybe getting a dad bod going, just not the best version of yourself, you lose energy as the day goes on, Game Day Men's Health might be able to help you. Find out about their array of treatments. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com, select the clinic nearest you, and book that appointment. Don't even have to talk to anybody. Just show up. And they're nice people, and it's a great atmosphere, and they help people nationwide. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Do it today. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
Might get you to the fourth quarter of the Shamrock Shuffle. That's what
fourth. Now, where are you putting the fourth quarter at? Like 4 o'clock?
I would say,
especially if you're starting at 10, 11.
I would say, 5 or dinner time. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I did get a response from my correspondent, my shuffling correspondent, out this year.
Out.
Said it was sad. Said the interest had waned significantly.
How the mighty have fallen.
If you're surprised.
If you don't shuffle for the Shamrock Shuffle in Milwaukee, save it for opening day.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Well, and Armen's skipping out on that one too.
And the NCAA tournament as well.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be missing it.
Now,
but NCAA tournament for sure.
I think that that Thursday of the NCAA tournament, the Sweet 16 one, right? Like, obviously the first round is what everybody thinks of.
Sure.
It's why they have the
most games.
It's why they have the boss button, right?
Yep.
Where many people take off. Dude, that Thursday, Sweet 16 Thursday, is shaping up to be one of the coolest days, right? Opening day, be done, then roll over with the games all starting right around 4 or 5. That's one where Game Day Men's Health is going to help a lot of people be able to get to the fourth quarter.
It is.
Fourth quarter of that last game, or the second half of that last game that's going to tip off at 9:15? More like 9:58 probably Central Time. Those games just continually roll back. Where do we have the regional sites this year?
There's a regional in Chicago. You talking about the second weekend?
Yes.
There's one in Chicago. That'd be the closest one to us. There's really no first round sites that are that close to the Midwest. I think there's one in Cleveland, maybe somewhere in Ohio. But Chicago has a second round
the Final
site.
Fours in Indy?
I think that's part of the reason. Yeah, I
Makes
think
sense.
that's part of the reason. So
could be.
And I'm gonna be gone for. Yeah, I wasn't thinking ahead, Billy. Was I? I'm gonna be gone for that Thursday. I just really wasn't thinking ahead. So I'm not mad about it.
You're going to be in Las
You're
Vegas.
going to be in Vegas. It'll be okay. Yeah, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
But listen, I don't know exactly what I don't know what your tour of duty out in Vegas is going to entail. You might be up while we're on the air.
I don't know
if the boss is going to have you up and up, doing stuff and taking video while we're out there.
Getting things done already, on my list of requirements. Maybe it's going to be a party, but it's going to be a working environment. Maybe. Is that what you think? It's possible.
We got to get the golf clubs down to the valet. we got to make sure we're ready. I mean, we got to make sure we're ready to roll.
Yeah,
also, more importantly, you got to get some winning. You got to get a little bit of a winning.
I can't wait
in the morning.
I can't wait for that, Billy. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
And,
I'm gonna be listening to you guys.
But you're going to be at the King of Cheeks, if I remember
the
correctly,
King of
right?
Cheeks. I'll be at the King of Cheeks. That's for sure. Yeah,
Armen and I had a lot of fun.
I'll be slumming it there. Yeah.
Had a lot of fun, Drew, as the guys that really enjoy the kiosk at Potawatomi Sportsbook, being able to poke around, find the best line, the amount that you can throw in, the full wrestling title belt worth of parlays that Armen would like to put on. We realized that there's really no place like home.
No place like home. The betting menu is superior anywhere else at Potawatomi Sports.
You don't get rushed off the kiosk when you're looking at numbers. Are you done? You have 15 seconds.
You won't get 15 million people asking you to sign up for the app running around with their tablets. No. Why don't you give me a free drink?
That's true. No. The tablet bros asking if you want to sign up for the app are definitely the worst.
Yeah, redonkulous.
None of those at the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
All right, we've made the turn. Matt Lepay is going to join us about 7:25, 7:30. We'll talk about the Badgers heading into their regular season finale against Purdue, another game in which Armen has a familial rooting interest, maybe a Glazers bet as well. We'll discuss that with Dolphin. We've got some other nuts and bolts in our final hour of the week. Buckle up.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddle.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Diller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yet. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boy got to do. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Send our guys after you and make the play.
B right, all the way outside. Y left, fake, 396 bag, D hinge, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
Zit, don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Good morning, early risers. I can't call you an insomniac if you're up at 7.
No, you're taking pace now.
But those of you just joining the program, we've been at it since 5 on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app, as well as Facebook, YouTube, and X. Time for Who's Hot and Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen. And who's hot? Well, he's so hot right now that he's going to cool off with $30 million over 3 years. Amherst native Tyler Biadasz is off the free agent market. He has signed with the Los Angeles Chargers.
A big one. The Chargers make a splash as Rap Sheet and Company report first. Tyler Biadasz, 3 years worth $30 million. He was set to make about 8.3 this year, Drew, by the Washington Commanders. They cut him for cap purposes, so he gets to live in LA and gets a raise. That seems like a pretty sweet deal for the Amherst native and former Badger.
Chargers seem to like getting free agent centers. So they were the team that got Lindsley, right? I think at
They
the
did.
time, yeah.
And then they got Bulaga, too. didn't they,
Bulaga,
after
they
he
get
left
Bulaga.
Green Bay?
So there you go. Congrats
So,
to Tyler and not a Bear.
Packers continuing their tradition of not getting Wisconsin guys.
Oh yeah,
No.
that's true. I guess, yeah.
And not apparently being interested in the free agent role of the center, unless they already have somebody who apparently also grew up a Packers fan in the crosshairs, in the sights, and that being Tyler Linderbaum. Or this just eliminates the Chargers from the sweepstakes, which I thought they might be in.
Is Tyler Linderbaum going to get significantly more than Tyler Biadasz?
Yeah, I think he's gonna get top of the market. Now, I mean, some people were saying he's going to like $25 million. No one's paying a center $25 million. I think Creed Humphrey makes the most at 18.
I was going to say 18 to 20 might be in the ballpark.
18 to 20 will be in the ballpark. Yep. So he'll make significantly
twice as
more
much
here.
as-
Yep.
Because if Tyler Biadasz's deal is 10 million,
I think you're looking at
value
about 4 at 80, 4 at 80, 4 at
Wow.
75 for Tyler Linderbaum.
for a guy who hikes the ball. My buddy Tom Flaherty used to call them the hikers.
Uh-huh.
Well, he's a long snapper. Let me
We
tell you.
have a good hiker. That's what we need, a good hiker.
And it's one of the reasons why when immediately after the Packers signed the Zach Tom contract, all the conversation of him being a Pro Bowl tackle, all-pro guard, or a Hall of Fame center, well, Drew, those conversations ended because you can't pay that guy over $20 million that far and away more than market value. That at some point, it's not that you don't love the guy, it's that you're not willing to pay that kind of cash. And I'm just interested why he's not in Baltimore. It seems like he wants to go somewhere else. It seems like he definitely wants to test the market. They didn't put the 50-year option on him. So fascinating to see where he ends up going. But I'm also interested because this is the most moves it feels like we've seen before free agency starts. And I don't know if it's just that there's a ton of teams with more money than they've had to spend in years past, Drew, because of how much the cap ended up going up. And they're looking at the free agent pool and saying, yeah, we don't necessarily love spending these guys. We don't necessarily love going here. But there's number of trades, significant trades, ones including first round picks, potentially going, it feels like there's a slight shift in the NFL where they're trying to buy more of the proven commodity on the trade market than hoarding through on draft picks and feeling too cautious and scared to be able to send those off somewhere.
So Tyler Biadasz is hot. Who's not hot? In our daily little who's hot and who's not.
Now, rarely see, and this is a tough one. I think he's going to end up being not hot because the report yesterday on Mad Dog Sports Radio was that this man is no longer going to be employed at the end of the year. Stephen A. Smith yesterday, rather kind of casually responding to a phone caller on his Stephen A. Smith show that's heard on Mad Dog Sports Radio, responding to John Morant being potentially acquired by the Milwaukee Bucks. Caller said, Drew, that it would make a lot of sense. He could really be aided by playing for a coach like Doc Rivers. And Stephen A. said, let me stop you right there. Stop you right there. He's not going to be coached by Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers is retiring at the end of the year. Wait.
Okay.
What?
Oh, okay.
Just dropping that.
Not going to be there. Doc Rivers, 65 years old. He's not going to be the head coach there. He's going to retire.
Mm-hmm.
He's been coaching for close to 25 years. This is it for him. He's going to step away. End quote from Stephen A. And that ended the conversation.
Is he going to step away or step into the president's role?
Oh, Drew. So he might go from not hot to very hot if he gets an advisory position on top of the extra $10 million.
Of basketball operations while they pay him.
Wow.
And make room for a new coach.
That would be a hell of a flip upward.
For the Bucks fans that are dreaming of him not being around, that would be the ultimate level of disappointment, I gotta say. So that he could switch from who's not to who's hot right in
very quickly.
People get hot right away. I was going to say
hot.
who's not hot is Chinese Taipei after getting boat raced by Japan.
Dude, they lost 13-0 and got one hit.
You gotta put something up better than that. I mean, you can't be.
Japan scored 10 runs in the second inning or something.
Yeah.
A grand slam by Otani.
Otani had 5 ribbies and was a triple away from the cycle in the second inning.
Now the way he swings is so easy. He's always hot.
Tell folks why we love who's hot and who's not.
Well, we love who's hot, who's not, because it's brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. And Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling is the largest employee-owned HVAC company in the state of Wisconsin. Because if you want somebody to be able to come and fix your furnace or air conditioner, you want the owner of a company, not somebody that claims that they know what they're doing. The easy choice is going with Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. They're our choice, the largest employee-owned HVAC company in the state of Wisconsin. Been doing great work for over 40 years. Right now, got 60-month, 0% interest deals on select systems. Check them out, DonovanJorgensen.com.
One really quick one for who's not, if you want a little NCAA tournament stuff, in Bloomington, Indiana, they had so much success in football this year, but the sports gods are paying them back. 4 losses in a row for the Indiana basketball Hoosiers. They are now out of the field by 34 of 89 bracketologists on my favorite site, the bracketmatrix.com. So Indiana could be losing themselves a tournament bid by the day here. So they are not hot. And they're not happy about that in Bloomington, Indiana, when their basketball team once again is underwhelming. So a little who's not for you right there.
I got one more submission for the not category,
Let's
guys.
do it, yeah.
Former Buck, Malik Beasley.
Oh, boy.
A federal judge in New York issued a $1 million civil judgment against free agent Malik Beasley on Thursday in a court dispute with his former agency. He was found liable for $1 million in damages plus interest to be paid to New York-based Hazan Sports Management, his former agency. They wrote in the ruling that he had no objections have been filed, no request for an extension for time. If you remember how struggling Malik Beasley was potentially to make like haircut payments.
Yeah, that's right. He had a summary judgment against him, 26G. That's 26 racks, by the way, guys, to a barber. Now, I don't know what you pay for a haircut. Now, I'm sure my guys at Cairo Cuts in Milwaukee, I've never been there. That was the name.
So they're doing it right.
This is news. Okay. I'm sure they whip up that fade in a beautiful way. I'm sure they have the great conversation, but my haircuts are $22. So I don't know what you're buying at a barber for $26,000, but that's how much he owed. So Malik had those type of debts. I don't know if he can whip up a cool mill that easily, Billy.
It's going to be tough. And again, I mean, this is a dude that was poised for a 3-year, reportedly $42 million deal with the Pistons just before his name surfaces in the gambling probe. And now Malik Beasley firmly firmly in the not category. Last one, Drew, in the hot category, a former Viking, now Texan, Danielle Hunter. In the conversation of all edge rushers, and Max Crosby's the one that everyone's talking about, a different standard being set financially by Micah Parsons. And Danielle Hunter said, excuse me, I would like my slice as well. Got himself a 1 year, $40 million contract extension yesterday with the Houston Texans. And I believe it was all a guaranteed. Said, excuse me, I would like it all in cash today. That's a great move. Be able to just say, excuse me, we're going to need to renegotiate that one. We're going to need to touch that one up. I had another 13 and a half sacks. Scariest guy on the field, and with my shirt off, might be the greatest looking human being of all time. My man is shredded beyond belief. He's like, another 10 million.
Yeah, you didn't even pay for a bar.
Please just get out of here.
Yeah, so that's impressive stuff right there. So, man, that wouldn't be bad to hit your bank account. That's a number you see rising, huh?
Rams just extended Cam Curl, bolstering their defensive backfield, 3 years, $36 million.
Man, player movement happening here at 7 a.m. I like this.
Cam Curl was expected to be one of the more attractive free agents. If I'm not mistaken, he had a pick in one of the playoff games, I want to say, or did he have the
pass breakup or
the tackle near the goal line? Anyway, that Rams secondary was massive for them to be able to get out of Chicago. They already added McDuffie with that second first-round pick in that trade to Kansas City. Rams are going after it, man. They were an eyelash away from the Super Bowl and hosting the entire playoffs if that 2-point conversion doesn't get overruled. And they're not resting on anything. NFC's just going to continually get better, dude. It is an arms race out here.
Sure looks that way. 877-794-1973. Get you to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line on this Friday. And again, we're about 15 minutes away from catching up with Matt Lepay, voice of the Badgers. He joined us on Monday. He's going to join us on Friday. It's perfect kismet there, bookending the week with the voice of the Badgers.
And beautiful because it's March, right? Now this is March. This is when it really starts counting. This is when it really becomes crunching time. And the trip to Purdue, right? And like one of the more, generally speaking, looked at and circled games on the calendar.
Absolutely.
Is it still, even because Purdue's maybe just a tick down from where they've been over the last 4 or 5 years?
Well, they've lost a couple recently, but this is still
I know there's still like a top 10, top 12 team.
And the thing is, if you get a win against Purdue, you might really, bite off another big chunk in terms of the metrics and things like that. They can maybe jump you up a seed line. So you never know. I think it's a great opportunity right now for the Badgers because, hey, I mean, it's almost a no-lose situation. Yeah, you can lose the game, but you're not really going to lose too much ground if you lose to Purdue, and it's basically a big opportunity to try and make your way into that 6-5 line almost if you want to, have high hopes to that. And then who knows what could happen in the Big Ten tournament. So a great time to be traveling to Mackey Arena, in my opinion, where the pressure's kind of off, your team's playing well, and you can try and, shock the Boilermakers there.
Braden Smith has the Scotty Reynolds vibes to me, where it feels
really
like
does.
he's been at Purdue for 100
Oh my
years.
gosh. And he's setting those assist records, and he's mixing them up, and he's got some Steve Nash in him, some Tyler Kolek in him if you want. But yeah, he's had a really good year for the Boilermakers, and it's their type of guy. You know what I mean? Him and Fletcher, and passing the ball right and shooting it right and doing the right things.
Armen,
Indiana boys.
Is it finally the Big Ten's year?
It's a great question, Billy.
Oh, baby.
If it is, it's because of Michigan, probably, in my opinion. They're good enough to win it all, and they could do it. So what we're looking at 25 years, 26 years. When did Michigan State win it all?
Won in 2000?
Yeah, so that's a wild number. They have to win it eventually because their conference keeps getting bigger. I mean, at some point, the Big Ten getting so big that everyone's going to be in the Big Ten. So they're gonna win a natty this year. So this might be the year. And if they do, I think it's because of Michigan. Although, yeah, obviously you have Michigan State, you have Purdue, you have all these teams. I'm not really a huge believer in Nebraska, but they're gonna have a high seed. And obviously our Wisconsin Badgers could get hot. So there's enough really good teams in the Big Ten that they could finally get the monkey.
But you're throwing it at Michigan's feet. Like it's got to be the Wolverines.
Michigan's the best team in the Big Ten. Some people think the best team in the nation most of this year, and they have the elite ability to take it all the way. I
was asked yesterday, Duke, Michigan, and
Arizona, maybe? You're talking about top seeds, basically? Yeah.
Well, it was Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and they threw Florida in because they're the reigning champs. You could have those four of the field. Who are you taking?
This feels top heavy this year, so I'm taking those four. And I'm taking the field variance kind of randomness guy. But this feels like a top-heavy year. If you're giving me those 4 teams, that's not too bad. That's not too bad of a bet to take one of those teams. Because we know what Duke's done. Arizona's been really good lately. I mean, yeah, Florida's obviously right there. Those might be the top 4 1 seeds. Those might all be the ones. And depending on how the committee views Connecticut, it's been a down year for the Big East.
That doesn't sound like a lot of madness, Drew. That doesn't sound.
That
Sounds like a whole lot of chalk that I heard is coming out of this amazing tourney.
We'll see what Matt says. But these are often the years you get that, right? The years you think that are chalk. The years you think it's just going to be, hey, listen, it's going to be the top heavy and bust. Next thing you know, we might have 14, upsets, and we have 3-5 seeds in the Final Four. So you just never know what's going to happen in this tournament. That's why we love March, and March is here, gentlemen.
Yes, it is.
I got to start finding my spots here and picking my spots for teams to make the Final Four, because I just listed off 4 teams that are legit minus favorites to make the Final Four at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Drew, I don't like that. I like more of the I don't know,
underdogs, the big
Miami at 65-1. That's the ones that I was hoping to hear from Armen.
Now
Clemson 75-1. Let's frequent in those traffic in those waters.
And you got to make sure when you're making these futures, you're doing Miami, Florida, or Miami, Ohio. That's an easy one.
That's a good one.
Now that's the biggest story for some in college basketball. Continues tonight as Miami of Ohio travels to Ohio U to try and keep their undefeated season alive. It's a story we're following, guys. It's the big debate. What kind of at-large would they get one if they, pick up a loss here at some point? They're still the only undefeated team in the land. So, hey, you never know. Can they keep the dream alive? They've been having some close calls lately. That's one I'll be watching for sure, because this story only gets more and more interesting as we get into the Ides of March here. So,
100-1.
To get Miami, Ohio?
To get Miami of Ohio to make the Final Four.
Cool. That's a cool, nice little donation to be making, brother. I don't even know if they'll make the tournament. If they
because you mentioned them. Guess who is right next to them at 100-1? The team that you started the conversation out with, Indiana.
Yeah,
the team that you just said is most likely about to be out.
They're basically in the bubble, so they have to get some wins. Listen, that's the first hurdle to get. Will they get in the tournament? So the thing about Miami of Ohio is everyone loves an underdog. They love the story, and it's a great story. But it will get very interesting, and I don't know how good this team is. It sounds silly to say about a team that's 30-0, but based on their schedule, it's hard to know a lot about how good they are. And that sounds crazy, but it's true. They have not given themselves any sort of decent competition yet in Division I to play. So these are little storylines we'll follow. Lehigh hit a half quarter last night. March Madness is here.
That was a smooth shot.
So they're in the semis now in the Patriot League tournament. So all the conference tournaments are starting up here.
My man Nazir Whitlock.
Yeah, he was on ESPN this morning.
That hit. It was and the best part is Drew, and I mean you know this, and baller you were when you hit that swoosh perfectly where it catches the mic so cleanly that it's almost louder than the pop in the gym when it goes in.
All right, so that brings us right to our hero of the day, Current Electric. We got to go with Isaac Gard, don't we? Because he had his moment, but we're still riding it right now.
Yes,
and as we're about
100%.
to welcome Matt Lepay on, what a moment that was at the Kohl Center senior night, coach's son hitting a 3, and then which something that never happens with a walk-on. He gets removed from the game to an ovation. He enters the game to an ovation, hits the 3, gets another pop, gets removed from the game, gets another ovation. He has to be our Current Electric hero of the day.
And the reason why, and the other part of it, Drew, is because more and more of the video that the social department took inside the locker room coming out from senior day, Greg Gard trying to keep himself from losing it, celebrating and holding the seniors in the locker room. Great stuff. Current Electric, superheroes that walk among us. They present our superhero of the day. Hey, fellas, spring is right around the corner. 50 degrees in the forecast the next 4 days. 50 degrees in the forecast the next 4 days. Today, not a day to be working on your outdoor patio and the lighting because of the rain, maybe a half inch, maybe a little bit more, but it's coming. It's right around the corner. Your backdoor living space is ultra important. The best way to make it better is the lighting, and the superheroes from Current Electric ready to help you out. See Current Electric at this year's Realtors Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th. That's March 20th through the 29th. And ask them, talk to them, show them your outdoor living space. They'll let you know and help you and give you the best way to enhance it. And at callcurrent.com, you can get more information.
Matt Lepay joins us next. The voice of the Badgers. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin continues. It is Friday, getting close for us to slide down the back of the dinosaur. Can't wait. This portion of the program brought to us by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Big weekend ahead, you weekend warriors. Sports injuries are real. You know it.
Yeah.
You probably lived it.
Sports and other things probably going to happen this weekend on the injury front, I would assume.
Doubt. You can probably get injured on the
curbs.
Shamrock Shuffle.
Yeah, watch out for those curbs.
But any orthopedic needs you have can be serviced by our friends at OAW. The world-class care that they provide right here at home is incredible. OrthoWisconsin.com is the website. April 8th will mark the 2-year anniversary of my hip replacement surgery by Dr. Matthew Bong at Orthopedic Associates, Wisconsin. The care that I received, can't recommend it enough. The only thing I don't recommend is limping around like a jackass for a year and a half before you have the procedure. If you're having pain, discomfort, suck it up, rub some dirt on it. No, go get an x-ray. Go find out. Go talk to the experts. See if you can benefit.
Solve your problem.
Solve the problem from the best in the business, orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. And, the pickleball craze is creating new customers for them, but it can happen to anybody at any time, whether it's a knee, back, wrist, neck, whatever it might be.
They just had a big pickleball. Yeah, obviously the craze. They just had a big contentious village board meeting in like Whitefish Bay or Shorewood.
They did,
somewhere.
the Clody Park
about
courts.
how late they can play.
The hours.
The noise is getting too much for some residents.
Yes.
They're getting noise violation on the pickleball court. We're going that hard.
The people that live
Bay?
that close to pickleball's a loud sport.
It
man.
is. Bang, bang, bang. I get it. If maybe you're used to, I don't want to. The NIMBY joke. I don't want to call them that. I get it. You weren't used to that type of thing, maybe, and now it's so popular and everybody's playing. And
I remember when I got the noise complaint in the neighborhood for playing basketball before school. That basketball's really loud, bouncing on the on the concrete outside.
Oh, come on.
Oh yeah. That was a very, very hot conversation when my mom got that call in the morning.
What's worse, a basketball thumping around or the lawnmower firing up its
that was
How
the
about
other.
they just put
that
some
was
stupid earplugs in? How ridiculous is that? Kids having fun at 7 in the morning.
Shooting
that
the
was
ball.
always the
pretty
all-star week conversation. The other one was that like how early is too early to cut the grass in the summer, or the snow blowing thing you kind of have to do 24 hours sometimes. But listen, my dad's was like, it was late and his neighbor called him this winter when the snowblower was getting going. No, it was like 2 a.m. But he didn't do it.
That would be
he has a service. He didn't do it. They hire somebody. He's a little old.
Sorry,
now.
they're coming through. Yeah,
right.
It's not my fault.
So that's the other one. So how late can you play pickleball? So those debates are going to pop up all the time now as it gets more and more popular. So
and it gets dangerous out there. It gets dangerous on them courts.
Absolutely. Joining us now via the miracle of technology is our pal Matt Lepay, the voice of the Badgers. He is headed for West Lafayette later to call the regular season finale. Matt, welcome to the program.
How we doing, boys?
We are excellent.
Well, we're not as good as you because we don't get to go to West Lafayette. That's the joy. But this is one of the premier destinations to be able to call a game, isn't it? It still feels like one of the best atmospheres in one that is even growing in the Big Ten with some of the better atmospheres. I know you talked about Nebraska this year as a pop-up spot. I was watching the game at Carver Hawkeye last night. That place is live, but hard to be able to match the energy in Mackey.
Yeah, I would put Purdue number 1 right now, Mackey Arena. It's their senior day, and they got 3 seniors, and they're unusual in that all 3 of them have been there from the beginning at Purdue. So that makes them a bit of an outlier in today's college basketball. But yeah, it really is. So actually the hotels are pretty good down there now, a couple of them. So that's how I rate towns. I'm too old to be going out bar hopping. So I'd be that guy I made fun of when I was your age. So I'm trying to avoid being that guy. But yeah, no, I actually like going there because it's truly a basketball environment to cherish. I mean, there are a lot of good ones. Michigan State's really good. You mentioned Nebraska. Illinois is generally really good. There are a couple others, but if I'm rating them, I've got Purdue number 1.
Well, not only that, and you talk about the fact that they have guys that have been with the program. It's an anomaly. They're seniors. They've been all really good, and they're all Indiana guys, which Purdue fans love. Obviously, the hometown guys, just like we love Wisconsin guys here. And the Indiana Hoosiers have been losing a lot lately. So all things great for Purdue fans. And you're right. Now, what I said to Billy, Matt, and I think it's interesting, is I think for Badger fans, this is a great time to play Purdue. You've done a lot of work to solidify a good position in the tournament. It's kind of a no-lose situation because you're playing a great team on the road. This is basically a big lottery ticket opportunity for the Badgers now at the end of their season.
Yeah, it is. And it's interesting too with Purdue, because I think everybody who follows this league and has paid attention to Purdue the last few years, there's a lot of talent there, but they've split their last 12 games. They started out 7-0 in the Big Ten. They're 6-6 since, and they had a down to the wire game at Northwestern. They were able to pull it out. But the feeling is they're a lot better than how they performed. So yeah, if you're Wisconsin and, Nolan Winter is day to day, as we all are, right? Whether he plays tomorrow, I don't know about that, but I think you let it rip and then get yourself ready for the Big Ten tournaments, and more importantly, get ready for the one that really matters the following week. But I would say this regular season for Wisconsin has been pretty good. They're like the Brewers; they tend to surpass expectations. Always project low. I'm sure Brewer fans would get nervous otherwise. I know Badger fans get nervous when they're projected to win or be top 2, top 3. So it's another one of those years where, to this point, they have outperformed the analytics going into the season.
Matt Lepay joining us. Okay, so the pomp and circumstance of senior day at Mackey Arena, can it match the Isaac Gard experience? Can it? Yeah. I mean, in terms of drama and bringing a tear to your eye? Come on.
Yeah, sometimes things work out, and it got a little dusty in there for some people. The allergies were kind of kicking in when Isaac hit his logo 3 right in front of the old man there. So it was cool. I mean, he knows his role. He's actually brought a lot of value to the program, his work in the scout team and all that. His jump shot is better. It's much improved. But yeah, that was, other than Nolan, getting injured in that game in the second half, the night played out perfectly. Wisconsin won big. Isaac gets in there. He hits his big, the long 3. He gets to exit. They do the one at a time thing, and the embrace with his father. That's it's like, it's still college. It's a lot different now. It's it's very professional in a lot of ways now, but those are the moments that remind. You saw that last night, Michigan State. They had a guy, Jackson Kohler. His great grandfather is one of the remaining survivors of the Pearl Harbor attack. He was at the, wow. they saluted him at the game last night. You get those kind of moments on senior night. Awesome. But man, a father-son moment like that, that's pretty hard to top.
That was pretty cool. And I love scout team guys. I have soft spot for walk-ons, and to see them get in the game. And then if you can get in the box score, like get a shot. I used to hack somebody right away to try to get in the box score, to make sure I got a stat,
get in the
foul. But to see that, but they never get removed to the game. You enter the game to an ovation. They almost never get removed to an ovation. To me, that was chef's kiss. They managed perfectly.
Yeah. It was. They had actually, Jack Robinson, another one of those reserves, got in the game, and he had actually on the floor called a play for Isaac, and he had missed that jumper, and then they come back down, and it's pretty close to the spot. Wednesday was a little deeper, but his first 3 was on that left wing that he hit his first career 3.
That's a sweet spot
last year against Holy Cross. So yeah, I think when you make a shot like that, that's a mic drop. I think okay, I'm good, coach. Yep. Take me out. I'm good. So it was pretty fun.
We'll put on the non-buckled sweatpant warm-ups now. I think we'll be good if we don't have to.
I think you hold the post to make sure the official photographer gets a great shot of it too, that you can blow up down the road.
That's good.
That's fair. You just hold it. You just.
So Matt, did the schedule makers for the Big Ten tournament? They must know that Badgers fans like the pregame because you got the late slots. Like you're playing I think the last possible slot every day starting on Thursday.
They could be. If they beat Purdue tomorrow, they would be a 5 seed, and they would play at about 1:30 on Thursday afternoon. If Wisconsin wins and Illinois somehow loses to Maryland, then it gets more interesting. Then you could just go party all day, all night on Thursdays. There's planets need to line up. But if the Badgers end up where they are right now as a 6. And if they lose to Purdue, then they would play about 8 o'clock, 8:15, whatever on Thursday night, and everything would be later. So there's still, if Wisconsin wins tomorrow, things are still a little bit unsettled until Sunday in the Illinois game. So it's a series of tiebreakers that get involved, but they know they're no worse than a 6. They'll play no earlier than Thursday. It's just a matter of what time.
And you said it too with the winter injury. It's difficult. They've been there, done that, and ran through a number of games and won a bunch and taken it to the championship of the Big Ten tournament. But do you feel a different approach going into this, or is it yearly where we're in the tournament, might as well try to win this one, but we are all still focused on that Sunday selection meeting, whether we're in our jerseys after the game or not?
Well, I think you want to, it's cliche here, Billy, but you want to keep winning because you don't know like what a loss does to your potential seed line in the NCAA tournament. I mean, there's next week and then there's the one that really matters after that. So, but at the same time, you know what, it was a hold your breath moment with Nolan. And it sounds as though, and Greg suggested it after the game, that it may not be as bad as everybody first thought, because you could hear a pin drop in that building when Nolan went down. But you always fear that late season injury. I mean, the guy who sits to my right at these games, Brian Butch, lived that. Every time something like that happens, I cringe for him. So those are the kind of things that you worry about. But again, hopefully with Nolan, this isn't serious and he can be back sooner than later. But you still, that's the mystery of this stuff. You don't know like what, I mean, it's a quad 1 game tomorrow. You're on the road. You've got seemingly the deck stacked against you. Let it rip and see what happens. But you still want to do everything you can to win, not knowing what a loss might do if it knocks you down a seed line or two. But, you know, the main thing to me is just play as well as you can and stay as healthy as you possibly can.
It shows 32 Butch is in better hands, because here, whenever that would happen, some of these sickos would make him relive it, Matt. You're a much better person. You have empathy. People would always make him have to relive it.
Why are you looking at me? I don't know.
Somebody was the one playing the highlight.
No, I'm trying to add, audio and color to the event,
So I shouldn't have said, well, Nolan Winter, he's down. Butch, tell me about your elbow. What happened in 07 there?
Oh, boy. I saw him he talked to the old coach Bo, and I saw them talking about the best teams ever. Bo said he wanted the 15 and the 07 team to fully healthy, fully primed, play one-on-one together, or play one-on-one to play each other. Are those the two best tees that you've seen too, Matt, or is this is a tough question to throw on you here? But
that was, I think that's a pretty, I would say probably, because the 07 team, that's one of the great what might have beens, because they were actually ranked number one. For a week. Toward the end of the season, they had lost a game at Michigan State, and then the game where Butchie got hurt, they lost just an absolute heartbreaker to Ohio State. But that's one of those you would have liked to have found out. But I also think sometimes it's the draw. The 08 team was really good. Big Ten regular season, Big Ten tournament. And then in the Sweet 16, they ran into this dude named Steph Curry, who was becoming the darling of the tournament. I always think that had Davidson lost, and it was Georgetown who lost to them. You're thinking, you get Davidson. You don't want Georgetown, but in retrospect, had they drawn Georgetown, it might have been a much different story. That 07 team was special.
Yeah. Still absolute garbage that my man wasn't there to support the guy that he played in the McDonald's All-American game with. LeBron goes to that game to watch Steph Curry. He should have been there to watch Brian
Butch, who had 6 points in that game. Absolutely. In the McDonald's game.
In the McDonald's game. Yeah. Absolute garbage. Can I sneak just like the smallest little football in with Matt? Matt, sure. In state, getting the recruits. We're getting some commitments. Isaac Miller, in state. It feels like this has been a push. Now it's tough. Like high school recruiting has always been very, very difficult when the verbal was in front of it. Now it's even more verbal than anything else in any of these commitments. But it feels like this was a seismic conversation where there had to be more focus on keeping the best players in the state of Wisconsin. And it feels like right now that's been point A in high school recruiting, and the Badger football is starting to take shape on it.
And it sounds like, Billy, that just the level of talent is on an upswing again in this state. It can be a little cyclical the past year, and this comes from people who really study this, and I'm not one of them. But those who really studied this past year maybe wasn't great in terms of the quantity of players in the state, but that does seem to be on an upswing. There seems to be more depth of talent here in the next couple of years with high school football in Wisconsin. But at the same time, I'd like to think they're understanding that these players who grow up dreaming about being Badgers, they might be a little bit slower than the other guy. Maybe they don't rep as many on the bench as some guy from another part of the country, but they will by the time they get here and work here, because it means a lot to them. And, there's the business component as well. That just being a Badger means so much. There's always going to be a business component, but maybe not quite as harshly transactional as some other situations might be. So I think a lot of things have gone into it, but I know it's encouraging. I smiled when I saw it yesterday, and I'm sure Badger football fans who've been frustrated at the lack of Wisconsin talent coming here, like, hey, here we go. This is what we want to see. So those guys are off to a really, really good start in that regard.
Yep. Fantastic.
My man Kors is a wildcat. Third junior, and he's already set the rebounds record. They've got some talent coming in. And listen, on top of upsetting Notre Dame at Lambeau Field, winning 10 games this year, it's gonna be an absolute heater.
Philly's already got it booked. Take it to the window.
I sat down with Luke Fickle yesterday. We were just doing some a football TV recording, and I should have, because he's not a big basketball guy. I should have said, dude, you've been at a lot of basketball games here, watching your guy. We can't mention his name obviously on a television broadcast like that, but I think old boy's been watching a little bit more basketball than. I mean, he's a big wrestling dude, but sometimes you gotta love another sport sometimes, and I'm thinking that they might be in this case.
I was gonna say, I think Matt, they might just be able to wander. Oh, sweet, the wrestling room's right over there. All right, maybe just
yes,
wander through. Third trip to the concession stand, coach. Where are you going?
Nice. Matt, enjoy West Lafayette. You and Butchie tear it up.
All right, boys, take care. Talk to you next week.
Right.
Hey,
Matt Lepay, voice of the Badgers, friend of the Huddle. Hey, it's already closing ceremonies.
How does this happen, man?
Our week is over. Sliding down the back of the dinosaur. That happens next. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Time to shut down the huddle already. Time flies when you're having a good time. This week goes by fast. We're in the microwave portion, baby. I mean, February flew by.
Cruised.
We're first week of March. Clicked. Couple weeks away from opening day.
What?
Tournament on the horizon. We got some cool stuff happening, and then we'll settle in.
Yes, and to get free agency rolling all next week during conference basketball tournament time, where we'll have games on right after we're off the air. And the only time of the year in Las Vegas when you can go from watching Shohei Ohtani play a game at like 2 or 3 in the morning, walk right into a WCC West Coast Conference title game or tournament game over at the Orleans Casino. It's a beautiful, beautiful time of year. And Drew, it's right. It really did go quick. I don't know if anybody else felt that. Yesterday, we finished the show. I'm like, damn, we only got one more to play. And not only just one more to play for the week, one more in the regular season for college hoops. It does feel like it cruised a little bit quicker than normal.
It did. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Right? Like, I mean, listen, maybe it was just the
maybe because we're having a good time. Come on.
Well, it's fair. We had so much going on through the fall that some consistency in the spring is a nice one. Now, Armen, 4 straight days in the 50s. Is this considered real spring or is this still fake spring?
You know what? I've been caught many times on this deal. I'm still not ready. I'm playing it safe. I'm still not ready to call it real spring. I'm just ready to say that I'm happy that this weather was here. So while we have these nice few days, let's appreciate it. Now, if this thing rolls all the way through into May and June, maybe that's fine and I'll be wrong. But I'm still playing it safe. I don't think this is real spring yet. I'm not putting you're not putting shovel away. I'm not putting the ice scraper away. I'm not doing any of that stuff to tempt the weather gods. I'm just going to enjoy this nice weather and the Atlantic Sun tournament.
Drew, fake spring
at 11 a.m.
Fake spring, but we're springing ahead this weekend.
It's getting close.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We'll be here. We lose an hour of sleep
brother.
For us. I saw something online. It said, in order to prepare for this, you should go to bed a half hour earlier on Friday and Saturday. It's like, no, I shouldn't.
6?
And to all of you out there that were too lazy to change your clock like me in your car, this is our time where we don't have to change it back.
Crying out
this
loud.
is our time. This is our moment. We made it all the way
There's
through.
no way you went the last 6 months into that. There's no way you actually did that.
I hate to say it. I will admit it. My clock's been an hour wrong, but now I'm fine. See, I'm good to go. So don't worry about it. We're good to go. That's one of my most embarrassing things I'm gonna ever admit on this radio, but I'm gonna admit it. That's true.
Oh my!
But I'm not gonna do that anymore. I promise. I'll be better about it. It was supposed to automatically update. All right. So what am I supposed to do? It's principle for me.
Settings.
That's why.
Oh, so hold on. It was a feature.
That's what I thought. No, I probably didn't set it right. I probably didn't do it right. I'll get back into the manual, but
I will. I have to call out my own hypocrisy because we always say go to the show and stuff, and I blew off the Smithereens show last night at the Vivarium. Didn't go see a band that I like.
Foggy man out there.
But I was like, I gotta sleep, man. Because you know, kind of gotta save myself.
I was gonna say you're saving yourself for Saturday night.
For happy hour today, and then Saturday night, Admirals, Dropkick Murphys. Oh, it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a tough weekend to beat. I mean, like we talk Shamrock Shuffle a ton because tomorrow is gonna be a hell of a kickoff to spring. You're gonna have a lot of people thinking it is when you're in just the t-shirt over the long sleeve shirt, right? We're not going full sweatshirt for this one. This is holy cow! All I needed was an iron jack underneath this sweatshirt. It's amazing. I'm going to even roll up the sleeves. I'm in short sleeves out here. There's going to be a lot of people feeling that heat coming up this weekend.
Definitely. And we've talked about the Admirals game tomorrow with them Dropkick Murphys, obviously. And if you're looking for something to do, the Admirals are home tonight as well. So
Badger
a twofer
Band
on tap with the Badger Band.
2 home games for the Admirals this weekend. 2 home games for the Bucks this weekend, Saturday and Sunday night as the Magic are in town. Marquette on Saturday morning.
With a feature of young Benson.
Yeah, with hopefully my 10-month-old winning the baby race that happens at halftime of the Marquette game.
Go get him. Go get him, B.
We need to get one win during that game because I don't know that the final score is going to be in favor.
We'll see you at 5 on Monday. It's going to feel like 4. Be ready.
Went fast.